talking like normal?
Yes.
Good to be here as always.
Talking like normal or talking like my character?
Hello.
That is my name. My name is Shannon, but today it's also Maeve.
We're going to be playing some D&D today, and I like that.
20?
Good afternoon, and welcome, friends, family, viewers, to One Shots in Paradise. I'm your DM today, Stefan, joined by a lovely cast here. We'll be playing for the Jasper's game day, raising money for suicide awareness. And without further ado, let's have our lovely cast introduce themselves, starting with Nick.
Everyone. My name is Nick. I use he, him pronouns, and today I will be playing Gwydion Ashburn, a Furbolg cleric who also uses he, him pronouns.
Jelly?
Hi, I'm Mel. My pronouns are she, her from Lionhead Gaming, and I'm playing Dottie Silverthread, the Gnome Circle of Stars druid, who also use she, her pronouns.
Jordan, Lion?
Hi, I'm Jordan or Lion. I use he, him pronouns, and I run Lionhead Gaming, and I will be playing Joyous Occasion, who goes by it, or its, or them. A tiefling bard.
Shannon?
That's me. Hi, everybody. I'm Shannon. This is my nerd home, along with producer Sean and DM Stefan. Welcome to Paradise. I will be playing today Maeve, the punk of a monk, and she uses she, her pronouns just like I do.
And finally, Samuel.
Hi, my name is Samuel. I'm the creator of the Plot Hooks Creation Network. Today I am playing Ivan Varjotun, otherwise known as Ivan the Shadowless, the Oath of Redemption Paladin, and we both use he, him pronouns.
All right, and before we really get started, or wait, giveaway?
Yeah. Okay, so because you guys are freaking amazing, we have already reached 2 of our fundraising milestones. So that means we get to do 2 giveaways. So give me 2 seconds. I like the number 2 today, apparently. All right, I am going to get this all set up. Fabulous. Okay, enter the keyword Paradice, spelled Paradice. First, we're going to roll for the latest bundle from the Underground Oracle, the latest quarterly from the Underground Oracle Publishing, who is one of Paradise's amazing partners. And the second thing we're going to roll for is an Arcane Spectacles Dice Vault, also one of our amazing partners. So while you guys get yourselves in there, Paradise spelled, yes, just like the 2 friends that have already put it in there. Yes, let's talk about some other stuff so we get to give some people a chance to get in there.
Right. So given that this is for suicide awareness, I decided to have an adventure that focuses on those themes. With that in mind, the stream will contain some adult content, including discussions of mental health topics and suicide, which some of you may find difficult. So please practice self-care before deciding to continue watching. Just know that you do not have to roll for initiative alone. Thank you.
All right. Make sure you get those paradises in there with a C, spelled with a C. It's a pun. We thought it was funny. We stuck with it. Paradice. I beat you to it. Nick and I have this sort of like competition going where we're like on the same wavelength.
Voice of God here real quick, Shannon.
Hi.
Why don't we give people a little bit of time and maybe we'll do the drawings at break. so they can get those Paradice in there.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Maybe, just maybe, we will have even more giveaways to do at that point. I'm going to put our donation link in the chat right now. Check it out, friends. We're trying to raise $1,000 today for Jasper's Game Day. I am an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day, and so we are so proud to be partnered with them. And I'm going to stop talking now. Back to you, Stefan.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, I see nothing stopping us from jumping right in. The lands are under attack. An evil cultist is looking to bring his dark god to bear on the world, an entity known as Ayat. From the local academy, Professor Follery Perfifel has enlisted 5 adventurers to assist him in bringing this cultist who's attempting the ritual, an ex-student of his, bring him to justice. The 5 of you banded together with Professor in tow, fighting your way through the cult headquarters, making your way all the way to the boss chamber, as we like to call it. You burst through the door. Inside you see darkness with few lights illuminating the area. You see cultists in red robes kneeling before a figure atop a pedestal. There you see a cultist, hood drawn back, long dark mane of hair, scraggly beard, holding a dagger in one hand, and his other an obsidian gem. He shouts to you as you enter, "It's too late, Professor! I will bring Ayat to this land and cleanse it in his name. Adventurers, you're too late!" And with that, he casts a fireball at you all. Roll me a dex saving throw.
First roll.
Wow.
That's pretty good. 18.
Got a 4.
Great start.
And an 11.
19.
14 from Gwydion.
Okay, anyone below a 13, you'll take 12 points of damage. Everyone above, only 6. As I'll then ask you to roll some initiative for me, as you see the cultists start to stand up, ready to engage with interlopers. All right, anyone 20 and over?
22.
21.
All right. The next bracket, 15 to 19. 10 to 14.
11.
All right. 9 to 10. Or, sorry, 5 to 10? No.
Gwydion's familiar Fenwick, the squirrel, rolled a 7.
Fantastic. Good for Fenwick.
Ducked out of the way of that fireball.
0 to 5.
Gwydion
I
rolled a
rolled a
natural 1
4.
for a 3.
Okay.
No.
4.
All right, so first up, Maeve.
All
You
right.
just watch the fireball hurl down the long corridor at you. It's about 60 feet between you and the cult leader, with 2 rows of cultists between you.
Oh, fuck that. She's going to run up to the nearest cultist and just start wailing.
Very good. Go ahead and start wailing for me.
All right. Ugh. That's a 10.
Well, it doesn't quite connect with the cultist. As
Darn.
Maeve rushes in, a little startled that combat has started so quickly. Who starts combat this quickly? As she
All right.
swings her fist and misses. Anything else?
I have 2 attacks per action, so I'm going to try again. That's better. 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. That is going to be hell yeah, 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
How do you want to take this guy out?
Oh dang! I just want to just why? And I'm just gonna just across the face, just punch him, just to punch him to the side, and then just to try and go to the next one.
Sure, you watch your fist connect with his jaw as he does that pirouette and fall to the ground as you rush up to the next one. Anything else on your turn?
That is it.
Joyous, you're up.
Oh, that was a mistake. Let me show you why, as I will tap into my magic, bring up my horn, and play just a dolorous tone through it that sounds very reminiscent of a foghorn, but just very, very creepy. As the cult leader, who's 60 feet away,
Yes, sir.
imagines instead seeing just a group of myself all casting Fireball back at him, as I will cast Phantasmal Killer on him.
Ooh.
As he's
Okay.
taking a wisdom saving throw, DC 17.
Oh. Well, he's going to fail that.
Then he is frightened for 1 minute. I'm concentrating on that spell. And at the end of his turn, when he comes back around, he has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw again, or take 4d10 psychic damage.
Okay. You watch as, to you, you know exactly what's happening in this cult leader's eyes. But his eyes just widen as he holds this obsidian stone and dagger, as he just stares at you in fear, trembling. Anything else on your turn?
Is there any cover separating the rows of cultists from us in the environment?
There's
any pillars or?
Yeah, there's definitely pillars. Yeah, this is a classic cult altar area. There are pillars lining the sides of the room.
Yeah, so I'll try to move myself into a position that seems like it might hide me a little bit, but still be visible to the cult leader, so he can see my billowing yellow cloak and realize that I'm still there watching him.
All right, Dolly, you're up.
You said we're within 50 feet of the other cultists.
I'm sorry?
How close are the other cultists to us? The leader's like 60 away.
Right, they range from some are 10 feet and some are about 50 feet, as there's just a row of two rows of cultists, probably 10 deep, as they line the way to the altar.
Okay, Dottie is going to open this tome of a black leather cover of it, and there seems to be markings in it, dots and lines connected to each other. And as she does so, she pulls out a wand of sorts that looks to be a twisted branch, rather. And she's going to point between some of the cultists, just adjusting her glasses and measuring it just right as she is going to cast Entangle, trying to get some of them restrained.
Okay, what's the radius on that?
That is a range of 90 feet and a 20-foot square, starting from a point within range.
Okay, so I'll say you can get probably up to 6 of them, honestly. And they have to make a saving throw, I assume?
Yes, they will have to make a strength saving throw, DC 16.
They all fail. So you watch as 6 of these cultists on both sides of the aisles, vines creep up and start grabbing at their legs, climbing up them as they try to wrench their way free, alarmed at this, all of them getting rooted to the spot.
That should hold him for a while, but I'll have to focus on it. I adjust my glasses and move towards the back of the rest of the party.
Of course, where it's safe. Is that the end of your turn, Dolly?
Yes, it is.
All right, you watch the cultists closest to Maeve pull out various weapons, small arms mostly, as they rush towards her. 2 of them get on, not in flanking, but they're gearing up. One swings a war club at her. What's your AC?
16.
It misses. The
Try
other
again,
one
too.
stabs at you with a short sword and misses. Who would have guessed? Cultists. They're not the best of fighters. As the two try, 4 of them up by the altar start to pick up more martial weapons. 2 get shields as they start to block the way to their leader, as he just continues to tremble in fear at joyous occasion in the back. You see him take a second before raising up the obsidian gem, pointing it at you all, uttering some words in some unknown language. Rashaya Taraka! And you see some of the cultists that are entangled. The spirit leaves their mouths as it flies back, powering up his gem.
That's
As
not good.
4 of them just drop to the ground, dead. Fenwick, you're up.
He has to give me a wisdom save.
Oh, thank you. DC 17?
Yep.
He succeeds. Does that break the frightened?
Indeed, it does.
All right, so as he does this, it's almost like the power of those souls grants him strength and breaks his way out of your illusion.
Interesting.
Fenwick, what's our little squirrel buddy doing?
I think Fenwick is actually. I haven't summoned him yet. I just rolled initiative for him,
Okay.
just in case. He's still in his little pocket dimension.
Gotcha. Okay, so Ivan, you're up.
He slicks his hair back really fast with his stark white hair, covered a little bit in soot at this point after the remains of the fireball. Grasps a chain that's around his neck and mutters under his breath, "I won't let you bring more darkness to this world." And rips a golden figurine off of this necklace and throws it on the ground. And you watch as it morphs into a huge white lion, and it begins to run towards one of the remaining cultists. Is there one within 50 feet?
There are multiple within 50
Okay,
feet.
I wasn't sure where the ones were that expired. The lion runs straight towards an individual, and then pounces on one of them, making a claw attack.
All right, go ahead.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
All right. You don't even need to roll damage. How do you want to take this guy out? And we'll say an additional cultist.
The lion just runs up, and as it leaps to pounce on this individual, it puts its claws together almost like in a diving motion and just dives straight through and just kind of spears through 2 of them at one time and then stands over them snarling, with the ability to make a bite attack as a bonus action, but he quickly realizes that's unnecessary.
All right. Is that all, Ivan?
That is the end of my turn.
All right. Gwydion, right? Gwydion?
So the cultist with the black gem is still. He's still standing there, correct?
Yep, he's 60 feet away from you.
All right. So Gwydion has a long, gnarled, what looks like walking staff, and you see it has various runes carved on it. And he looks down his glasses. Where is? Here it is. And you see he grabs like a little, like nib or like little knob on it, and he pulls out like a little scroll. Yes. Okay. Right there it is. And a guiding bolt. And he's going to cast a guiding bolt at the cultist with the black gem.
All right.
And because, why not? Let me go ahead and use that advantage that Bumbling Rose was so kind to offer me. Ooh, that was needed. That is a 21.
Ooh. That's definitely going to connect. Roll some damage for me.
All right. And I should have said this was just a level 1.
Okay.
Let's see. That's 14 radiant damage.
So you watch as Gwydion releases these bolts of radiant energy flying through the air towards the cult leader as dark shadows rise up and absorb the damage, but you see that it's still connected as some of the darkness burns away. But as it fades back down, the cult's leader's eyes start to glaze over. As he
I'm sorry, go ahead.
As he continues muttering part of the ritual. Anything else?
No, that'll be it. But the next person to attack the cultist will have advantage.
All right. It is at this point that the leader starts to rise in the air. Energies, these dark wisps, rising him into the air about 10 feet as he holds his hands stretched out, dagger in one, obsidian gem in the other, as he's muttering, his eyes flickering, darkness washing over the entire room. Something crazy is happening. And we're back to the top. Maeve.
Okay, so how many cultists are in front of me right now, or did we get them all?
There's probably 3 more of them, kind of like seeing you take out the other ones. They're like,
Yeah, cool. All right, I am going to move up to the closest one,
Sure.
and I'm just gonna keep popping.
All right, pop away.
Okay, that first one is a 21.
Gonna connect.
Cool, with 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, how do you want to knock this one out?
So the guy the previous one I knocked out pirouetted to the right, so I want to pirouette this guy to the left.
Sure.
Do I still have movement left? Did I use all of it, or can I still move up to another one?
Yeah, you can move up to another one.
Cool, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. It's like, come free, buddy. Nah, that's not gonna do it. That is going to be a 11.
Oh no, that hits.
It is? Oh,
It hits, yeah.
fantastic. Okay, that is
You're
7
cultist.
points. 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, how do you want to take this guy out?
Straight uppercut to the jaw so that he knocks backwards.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so there's 2. That was 2. There's 1 more.
Sure.
Flurry of blows.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a 19.
Okay.
And that is 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
And how do you want these flurries to take this guy out? Spoiler alert, you hit a cultist, they go down.
They go down, yeah. So it's just all it is she's just wailing on him, just one there, and then right to the face. She's just kind of in a mood right now.
Oh, yeah. So after this flurry of blows, you see just unconscious cultists all around Maeve as she just stands there, fists clenched. Joyous, you're up. Unless, sorry, was there anything else, Maeve?
Nope, that's it. That's
All
it.
right.
Let's see. So I'm going to move past and around where the entangled guys have been sort of pulled
Sure.
into the gym, trying to get within 30 feet of the now levitating cult leader.
Yeah,
Able to
it's
do that?
definitely possible.
All right, and I will use a bonus action to expend the use of my bardic inspiration as I use my class feature unsettling words. So that'll lower his saving throw from the next save that he makes based on the next spell or the next saving throw before he makes it for the next the start of my next turn, which will be right now.
Okay.
As, yeah, I'll use my unsettling words and use my use my telepathy to speak directly into his mind. What you're doing is futile. As
I failed
I'm
my
gonna
saving throw.
as I'm trying to overwhelm him and make him realize just how silly what he's trying to do is, and feel a bit of joy as I'm going to cast some Tasha's hideous laughter on him. He needs to make an wisdom saving throw against DC 17, subtracting I think 1d8 from his save. As he
All right.
starts laughing. Subtract 2 from that.
Okay. He saves. As you
Darn.
see your spell strike him, and you see almost the hint of a smile start to stretch his mouth out, but then he continues to stand or hover as the darkness.
Quite persistent, but I'll get you to smile nonetheless.
All right, Dolly, you're up.
That's it for me.
How close is Maeve to any of the other cultists in the room?
They'd be within 10 to 15 feet of her.
Perfect. So just as before, Dottie opens her little tome and just taps upon it with her wand, and you see these little stars start to flitter up from the pages and shoot towards these cultists as Dottie's going to cast Fairy Fire to try to give Maeve or whoever wants to hit them a little bit of advantage. That's going to be a Dex save of DC 16.
They all fell. As you watch... Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
As these stars shoot up from her spell book, it looks like each one of them going to a cultist that could not dodge them and illuminating them, spreading a little bit of light in this room.
The cultists kind of like feel themselves very perplexed and confused by this light when they so clearly love the dark. Is that all?
Yes.
All right. It's at this...
The vines fall away, though, because this is another concentration spell.
Gotcha. Well, the two that were left entangled watch as the vines fall off their legs as it frees them up. But at this point, the cult leader shouts in a voice, "It is time to finish this! Come, my followers!" As the cultists start to draw back, making a ring around their leader. As he holds the orb out, his eyes still glazed over, it shakes. And you see the cult start to rise up as their spirits exit through their mouths and their bodies fall to the floor, the gem radiating this dark abyssal light as you feel the wind get sucked in, and then a concussion hitting you all, knocking you back slightly as a wall of dark energy surrounds the cult leader. You see the bodies of his followers littering the floor as he rises up, one hand with the dagger, the other with the gem, and you see him start to lowering it down. It's at this point that the professor that brought you all together, one Professor Fallery Perfiffle, rushes forward and goes, "Adventurers, quick! To me!" As he ushers you all over.
Yeah, Maeve will just shuffle over.
I beckon my lion to follow me, and I walk over.
Sort of shuffle backwards, not really looking back towards the professor, just keeping my eyes peeled on the cult leader.
He looks, Ivan, he looks at your line up and down. "Well, that's rather impressive, my friend. Yes, indeed. But that's beside the point. I fear we've reached a point where simple spells and attacks will not be enough. This entity that controls my previous student, Dillion, it is known as Ayat. If my researches be correct, he needs a willing self-sacrifice to enter our realm and cause his evils. I fear that Dillion has reached that point where he will give himself over. But there is still hope. For I see you five, and I see a light in this world, and I need your help to bring that light to my student." He takes out a tome, very disorganized, pages almost falling out as he starts flipping through. "This was Dillion's work, actually, when he studied under me at the academy before he left, and, well, it's almost serendipitous that the magics he thought of might be enough to save him and end this. It's a spell that, when cast, will allow you five, and your lion there, to enter my student's mind. Inside, you will find memories of his life, I'm sure. I don't know exactly how it'll look. I haven't exactly tested it yet." He says, continuing to flip through the pages, almost as if he's really doing his prep right now. But give me a moment here. Inside, you'll be able to interact with these memories. At first, you'll only observe. But if you step forward past the veil, his mind will interpret that as an addition to his memories. Because memories, they're not exactly as it happened, right? We perceive things and we remember them, and as our memories get tarnished and changed, all you see are the bad sometimes. Help him see the good if you can. He says, pausing, his fingers trailing off the book. Well, yes. I think I've got this ready. Any questions before I send you over?
I do have one question, Professor, from one scholar to another.
Of course.
What happens to our corporeal forms out here if something happens to us in his mind?
Well, it's not certain, but it is your mind going over there, as if you are entering the astral sea almost. So if your mind is, well, killed in his, similarly, I don't know if your mind will come back to your bodies.
If that is the case, I would just ask that you please give this note to my daughter. And I'll just pass him a small scroll.
He takes it, tucking it into his jacket. Of course. Well, if there's nothing else, and he starts uttering the incantation as he walks to each of you, the small halfling professor, as he hops up to tap you on the foreheads, planting his magics. I hope this works. And he sends out a spell. You watch as a doorway emits from his hand and flies towards the cult leader standing in the air. It smacks up against the dark barrier, and you see the magic as the doorway breaks through and plants itself right on Dillion's forehead. It's hard to tell, but it almost looks like it opens as the five of you feel yourself sucked in. And I like to think that it's kind of like, you know, in Thor when they're going on the Rainbow Road and it's all like...
Just like
Goodbye, Frost.
Yes. As you look around, you see flashes of memories. You're not sure if they're yours, your companions, this Dillion's, maybe even the professor's, as you see his face appear quickly and fly by before you enter a strange, dark, clouded area. Color does not exist here. It's all black and white as you see faint pathways before you. The central one that only seems to have a doorway on it, a shimmering, kind of ethereal look to it. You see a small child running into a room. This just keeps playing. A room full of what looks like a family. Feel yourself. You understand that this may be a memory that you must walk to interact with.
is the family like sitting around a table?
Yeah. So you see a mother figure at the table. She seems to be doing something with her hands as an older brother maybe leans against a counter, and a middle, a teenage girl sits in a chair next to her mother.
Can I walk closer and are any of them talking? I guess that's what I would like to find out.
Repeating loop.
Just the loop. Okay. Does anything happen if I step closer?
Do you step up to? It's almost like a portal that you can like.
So I look back at everybody, be like, "Well, this is what we're here for, right?" And then I'll step in.
Oh,
I'll
yes, but I
follow
would
behind.
as Maeve steps through investigating.
Nope. Just goes for it.
Okay.
It'll be a joyous occasion one way or another, as I just sort of fall into it almost.
Field study.
Gwydion will reach up and you'll see he'll summon Fenwick, his squirrel, here on his shoulder, and say, "Oh, well, in the name of science, Fenwick, let's move onward." And I'll head to the memory.
Right after you, Professor, as Dottie follows after Gwydion.
All right, so the five of you enter into this memory, and again, it's still in black and white as sound now accompanies it. There's a minor conversation going on that is not important to our story. As the young child, a boy of about 7 or 8, rushes in, followed by actually a small pseudo dragon. The boy goes, "Mom, Mom! Oh, sister, brother, look! I finally done it! Look, look!" And he casts a small minor illusion in front of the pseudo dragon. Just a simple light swirling as the dragon tries to catch at it. The older brother chuckled. "Oh, Dillian, look at you go. So young, so inspiring." The mother seems a little amused, but she goes, "Now, Dillian, you have chores to be doing. Shouldn't you get back to those?" The sister leans back in her chair and goes, "Come on, Mom. Give him a break. The kid's been working hard for us." "Yeah," the boy speaks up. "I mean, I just took a little time to practice. The magics." As the pseudo dragon dances around the light, the mother turns back to her work and she's like, "Yes, well, good job, Dillian." The older brother walks by and tussles the boy's hair. The boy looks up and goes, "Guthix, is it good? Do you like it?" Guthix looks down at his brother. "Yes, well, it's very good, but we must be getting to father now. The shop isn't going to run itself. Come now. You can bring Aldex with you." As you see, he leads Dillian out and the pseudo-dragon pet named Aldex as the memory fades. You return to that strange incorporeal space again. This time there are more avenues. In fact, there are 5. 2 on either side and 1 in the middle. As you see these similar shimmering images playing on short loops, as if to give you an indication of what the memory might hold. The central one is a little darker, and it has these strange shadow tendrils climbing up it. Each tendril is almost attached to different memories.
Well, what do you guys think that was all about?
Well, it appears the boy had a gift for the arcane at a young age, but had a mother that didn't seem to care too much for it.
Yeah, what was that about? She just didn't even do anything. That wasn't cool.
Sometimes a parents' priorities are not that similar to what it is their children wish to achieve.
That's crap. Kids can do whatever they want.
It's
Might have to
true.
find your own purpose.
I did
Exactly.
hope that my daughter would grow up to be perhaps an economist or some sort of anthropologist like myself, but unfortunately she followed after her mother and decided to become an adventurer. But
That's pretty cool.
well, yes, of course. I mean, I support her in all of her adventuring, but I've seen that. I've been there, that parent where you're torn between your concern for the child as well as wanting to support them.
What did you do about it?
Well, I taught her what I could to stay safe on the road and put my knowledge to the best use I could. I mostly let my wife teach her how to do all of the fighting.
That makes
Seems
sense.
like you have gained a bit of first-hand experience yourself out in the field.
Yes, in these last few years, I've been out here on the road, but I do tend to try to stay out of direct combat when I can. But I don't know. What do you all think about these remaining memories?
I think you brought up a very good point, Gwydion.
Ivan, throughout this entire conversation, Ivan has walked up to, while he's scratching the top of the lion's head. He's walking up to and just looking and studying the 5 different ones that are there. And he just says back, when it comes to helping people in these sorts of scenarios, well, I've never done it from the inside before. Typically, observation first is the key. It gives us some clues about how to best address and best help the individual. And he goes back to looking at the blips of memories that are before him.
I turn to Dolly and I'm like, so walking into that other one probably wasn't the smartest idea, huh?
It entirely depends.
On what?
Circumstance. Some memories are going to be very not great. You've had bad things happen in your life, right?
Yep. More
And
than
we
I
need to
care to remember.
And we need to find some of the good ones, but it's just as the professor said before we hopped in. Sometimes we see our memories differently than what actually happened.
All right, let's go. Let's pick one. What do we want to do?
So, in Ivan's investigations, to the far left, he sees a young Dillian in a shop. What you assume his father, talking on and on in a loop, as it just shows Dillian with a bored expression, his pet pseudo dragon next to him. The next one, you see Dillian walking down a city street with his father. Simple enough. In the third, you see the mother and father whispering to each other as Dillian enters the scene, both of them looking at him. Concern painted brightly on their faces. On the fourth, to the far right, you see Dillian in the same shop as the first one, watching as a girl he may have a fancy for wanders about the shop. In the fifth one, the one directly in front of you with the dark tendrils, it's hard to tell, but it actually looks like Dillian bursting into the room, a letter in one hand and a huge smile on his face.
Do these look like they're in chronological order? Like, what's the age of Dillian going through the 5?
Most of the four that you see here on the sides, he all looks relatively the same age. The fifth, behind the dark shadows, he looks to be about 16, reaching that age of maturity.
Okay.
I think in order to really understand him, we're going to need to see them all. This one in the middle seems most ominous, perhaps best saved for last.
Yes, perhaps observing what we can glean from the others before we confront this darkness.
Perhaps we should go into the one over there. And using her wand, Dottie points to where he's walking down the street with his father. We know his relationship to his mother and to his siblings, but we have not seen how his father feels about his fascination with the arcane. Perhaps he was the supportive parent, the more supportive parent of the two.
That's a sound theory. I agree. Let's test it.
So
Cool.
the 5 of you approach the
Dottie-
memory.
Dottie was going to take the lead as soon as the professor gave the permission to the class, even though Dottie is not very much student aged anymore.
Oh, she's one of those teacher's pet.
Yep, and hop on over through into the portal.
All right. The 5 of you walk through and you enter into a scene. It's the local city that you were contacted in by the professor. The streets look vaguely familiar to you as you see Dillian and his father, a grown man with a short cropped beard, spectacles on his nose, short hair, walking with Dillian as Dillian looks around. And then you see Dillian stop and go, "Father, father," as he points over. You see a man who looks to be down on his luck, leaning up against a pile of trash as a group of 3 men come over, sneering at him, insulting him. Dillion tugs on his father's arm. Father, we should do something. That man. You see his father turn away, a look of shame clearly on his face. No, Dillion. No, sometimes it's best to just leave things as they are. Come on, we need to get to the shop.
They're not gonna help? Can we help?
Noted, father is a very passive, observable bystander, may have encouraged passive traits within his son.
You got all that from just what he said? Jeez.
I start walking towards the man in the memory who is being affronted by these others and individuals.
Yeah, I'm behind him.
So you guys walk through, and you feel yourself as you take that first step. It's almost like you're going through like a wall of foam. That's a thing, right? You know, it's like saran wrap. Like you kind of push your way through.
Cellophane?
It's not. Yes, that's the word. As
Got
you
you.
push your way through, and you kind of feel now a bit of the memory. You can kind of smell the streets as Dillion would remember it. The sounds are more robust as you feel yourself having entered this memory. Dillion and his father have not noticed you, however.
Can you describe the 3? You said the 3 men are approaching a 4th?
So there's a 4th, we'll call him a vagabond, most likely, as 3 bully stereotypes are around him, jeering and laughing. You see one of them kicks his leg as they're clearly mocking this poor man for being down on his luck.
Walk over towards the vagabond without paying any attention to the other 3 individuals. And you see as Ivan walks forward, he's a man in his late 50s with shaved white hair on the sides, with long white hair on the back, and a short white beard. Chainmail armor with a symbol of a sun, what some might see as the symbol of Lathander on his chest. Notably, he left the lion outside in the ethereal space.
Sure.
As he walks up towards this individual. But he just says, excuse me, sir. Talking to the vagabond. I couldn't help but notice your shoes are in disrepair. Mind if I help you out with that?
As he looks like around, like, this guy's talking to me, the 3 men around him, one of them closes in between the 2 of you and goes, "What do you think you're doing? Gonna help this scum? He's nothing but a waste of space. Leave him be."
Don't talk to him like that.
Seeing Ivar and Maeve, excuse me, you 3 ruffians. Where are you?
Ruffians?
Yeah,
Where-
ruffians, you heard him.
Yes. How old did you say they look, DM?
They're probably in their 20s.
In your 20s. Excuse me. What would your mothers think of you here assaulting a citizen down on his luck?
What are you talking about? Our mothers don't. What? The clearly the mention of their mothers had not crossed their mind. That she. What? They look at each other bemused. What are you fucking pulling, old man? Get out of here. Who are you, anyways?
I'm hardly an old man. I'm 380 years old, but I could live to be 500. But that's aside the point. Ivar, please help this man up.
I kind of go around beside, and I kind of brush off where his leg was kicked, and then I begin inspecting just his disrepaired shoes, and without even helping him off of his feet, he just reaches to a satchel that he has on his side and brings out a set of cobbler's tools. And slowly, methodically, just begins making basic repairs to this individual's shoes. Not talking, not addressing at all the vagabond, the people who were affronting this vagabond, just caring for this individual and helping him in this simple way.
I will be sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
No, go ahead. What are you doing?
Just as Ivan is getting down to fix the shoes, Maeve is just gonna like kind of stand there and she's just like cracking her knuckles, just like looking at him like, try me.
Yep.
Ask, what is has Dillian or his father noticed us intervening?
I was gonna say, yeah. Go ahead.
Question. She is still staying as an observational person in this situation, watching how they're interacting and looking to see how Dillian and his father are reacting and taking vigorous notes throughout the entire process.
Of course.
I love her.
Joyous, what are you up to? Just for
Just sort of keeping an eye on the three ruffians, just trying to see if they had any like a simple club or something like that on their belt, and if I didn't see any sort of like weapons or anything like that on them, just sort of taking in the environment and just sort of experimenting with a bit, trying to see what I can and can't interact with, just like trying to touch and prod and poke things and get a feel for how this whole dreamscape sort of works. And I think I'd quickly realize that I can interact with it.
Yes.
And so then I'm just waiting for hopefully the tension between that group to dissipate. But if it doesn't, I'll speak into one of their minds.
okay. Well, Dolly, so you do see that at this point, the ruffians had, started yelling a bit. So Dillian had stopped to watch as, as the father kind of starts to tug on and goes, Dillian, who are they? Ivan, as you lean down to help this poor soul with his shoes, you see his face just slowly glisten as your kindness is well received by him. The ruffians are all, they look at the four of you here now and they're like, what, you fucking weirdos. Come on, boys, let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's right. Walk away.
They walk off, shouting curses and giving rude gestures to you. As you look over and you see a look of almost awe on Dillian's face. In the situation, and I would say, Joyous, you would notice this first, that the scene suddenly lightens. Where once it was pure black and white, you're starting to see tints of colors, hues coming through. The sky is a little more blue than just gray. The clothes on people's bodies, you're starting to see more variation. So it looks like a little light, a little color has entered this boy's memory.
Not like that shade of gray that my cloak turned. Yellow is a much better color.
Interfering with subjects' memories may in fact, affect the memories that he actively has. Could change perspective, question mark?
You gotta show me how to do that. That's really good.
Yeah, Gwydion's just going to go ahead and sit down, and using the mending cantrip, he's going to assist Ivar in finishing repairing the man's damaged shoes.
And as you do this, you go down to start cast your cantrip, and then you just see the man disappears as the rest of the memory breaks away, and you find yourself back in that central ethereal area, which that was once dark and foreboding. You see a light beneath you, very deep beneath you, very faint, but it's breaking through.
To Maeve, and I look at her and I just say, thank you for walking with me there.
Yeah, no problem.
I find with some their minds can't be changed, despite how we try and despite how we stand up for them. just as important as standing up to those who are doing bad is the act of showing love and care to those who are suffering.
Yeah, it was really cool what you did for that guy's shoes. Is that something you've always been doing, or is that a new thing? How did you get to do that?
I find that something that people don't often think about is what's on their feet. Except if their shoes are in disrepair, in which case everything they do is painful. Everywhere they walk is uncomfortable. Everywhere they stand is uncomfortable.
Huh.
It's a
As you
simple thing, but it goes so far just to making a person feel worthwhile.
as you're saying all this, Maeve looks down at her real beat up, really worn combat boots, and she's like, "Yeah, I never really thought of it that way. Yeah, it does kind of suck to have shoes that don't work."
It is an interesting point to bring up, Ivar. I've oft heard the scholars say if you ever want to know someone, you should walk a fortnight in their shoes, but I guess you could also just work to fix those shoes in the first place. And he will take out a similar notebook to Dolly's, but it's much more worn and filled with all sorts of ink blots and start to like scribble some thoughts down.
Dottie's eyes just light up. Seeing this relic of a tome you hold in
Relic?
your hand.
Maybe
What?
this is why so many people have a hard time understanding joyous occasion. Joyous occasion is barefoot.
Oh man, that's awesome. I'd be barefoot if I could, but you know, you get funny looks when you don't wear shoes, so I had to do something.
Sometimes it's a nice act for yourself to just take a little bit of time, and I like to polish my shoes. It's a little moment of self-reflection and thinking, and it's a moment of calm. The repetitive motions help. Polishing the shoes.
I usually just punch something, but maybe I should give that a try.
Yes, as I like to say, shining your shoes often gives you time to search one's soul. Fenwick. I'd like to point out Gwydion is 7'3", and you all have noticed, as old as he is, Fenwick is similarly old, graying fur, lighter colored, almost as if he's wearing spectacles, and he has been asleep for most of this visit.
Watching this sight, Ivan just kind of leans over to the lion, which is standing there, and just whispers, "I think we're good for now." And the lion just kind of shifts back into a golden statue, and he hooks it back to his neck while you continue with the conversation.
So I do have some theories based on this one little experiment that we had done. So we will have to, of course, repeat this experiment and see if we gain the same exact results. But I do think the key is not to just observe and to understand who he is, but maybe we need to have a direct influence, a positive direct influence on some of these memories.
That's a good theory. That seemed to work in this last one. Things got a little brighter.
Yes.
I would agree with theory. One thing I would caution us is there may be a possibility that we can go too far in altering a memory. I don't know what would have happened if we had struck one of those young lads down, if it would have been too much of a change from the original. So we should keep that in mind before we go. Oh, sorry about that. Fenwick, you're just going to go to sleep now. Before we go and fling fireballs or anything.
Perhaps we should also avoid interacting with the individual whose memories these are and just interact with the situation around him.
Yes. This is going to be an environmental study. We must not directly affect the subject, for it could actually be detrimental to what it is that we are trying to achieve.
Yeah, that.
Also be a greater success. But caution is advisable.
I am not, of course, opposed to the fact that if we need to directly intervene with the subject, it is because it is very much necessary. I'm sorry, am I talking very fast? This is a very exciting experiment. Sometimes I talk very, very fast, and my colleagues have had trouble understanding me before.
You're talking fast. You're talking real fast. I'm gonna need you to slow down.
Ivan's face is just kind of like this.
Noted.
So the five of you are in this realm. A little more light shining through.
All right,
You actually
that leaves...
notice one of the tendrils of darkness on that central has disappeared.
So was there a total of 5 memories, Steph?
Yes.
Or okay, so we've done 2?
You've done, well, in this room there was 5. You had done one previously, the childhood, and then you did one in here. There's 3 more smaller side ones, and then there's the large one with the darkness.
Note, positively influencing memory seems to change the hue. I'm going to call it a hue. The hue of tendrils extending to other nodes.
Joyous is going to just sort of, in a serpentine motion, just sort of move over towards the furthest left memory. Well, let our work continue then, I suppose, if you're ready. As I sort of start to reach a sort of strange hand from underneath my yellow cloak towards this portal memory.
We see Joyce's face.
You cannot. It seems to be permanently wreathed in shadow. You just see 2 glowing white eyes and every so often a toothy white smile, sort of like a Cheshire cat, with a pair of polished, curling horns coming from underneath the hood of this cloak. You've never seen his face. Or its face, rather.
All right, well, yes, I would... Joyous, you seem to be leading the way. I'll take your cue, and I'll head over to the next memory.
Sort of fall into it.
Right.
So the 5 of you enter. You watch the repeating short blip of Dillion head against a countertop, kind of like his pseudo dragon next to him, tail twitching as it's also in a similar mood. His father next to him doing something but clearly talking to Dillion as you enter, and you hear him go, "Now you'll need to remember that inventory should be done once a week, and this is a magic item shop, so we have to be careful about who we sell what to. And Dillion, are you listening?" As you see Dillion kind of perk up and goes, yeah, Dad, it's just, I wonder what Sister Renata's doing. I envy her getting out there using the sword. Yes, well, remember, Dillion, you and your brother have to help here at the shop. I need your assistance. It's very important that we maintain and sell these goods. But anyways, as I was saying, and the father continues to blab on as Dillion just kind of sits there. Every so often a customer comes in. His father generally deals with them.
Can I go over and wherever Dillion is sitting, I'm just gonna kind of I'm not gonna touch him or anything, but I'm just gonna kind of lean my head forward so it's near his ear. And because Dolly was talking too fast, I didn't hear her say don't interact with the subject, so I'm interacting with the subject. And I'm just gonna kind of...
I was going to say, so when you walk forward, again, that cellophane kind of...
Oh, right.
As you enter, and where you were viewing was almost like a fly on the wall, as you then find yourself walking through the front door, as if the memory has corrected itself.
Ah, yeah, I forgot to do that first.
No worries. I assumed you're going to interact. Yeah. And as this is happening, you would actually overhear Dillion's father going, Dillion going, "Oh, but it's so boring." And his father sternly looking over his glasses. "Sometimes, Dillion, life is boring, and you just must accept that you have responsibilities to others than yourself." He says this, turning back as you enter the scene.
Can I go and do the thing I was going to do when I thought I was already in the bubble?
Yep, sorry.
Cool, thanks. No, that's totally my fault. All right, so I'll go and just put my head on my chin, just lean over, and I'm close enough to his ear so that he can hear, maybe. You know, my dad used to talk to me like that. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to do it. You can do what you want to do.
I'm sorry. Are you a customer? Can I help you find anything?
Oh, I thought this was a ghost kind of situation. No, I'm good, but just okay. And she's gonna just awkwardly walk away.
As you
Just sort of
walk away,
push
he's
my
like,
way into the cellophane.
okay.
Now, Maeve, what did we learn about interacting with the subject?
Yeah.
As
Well,
you
good try.
walk through, you also enter in at the front door, entering it as if you're a customer.
What are they selling here exactly?
Magic items. So you've all seen magic items, right? You know, there's an array of wands, staffs, swords, tomes, trinkets here and there. Some of them are locked up, some in display cases. Some of them look very simple, like small sending stones, almost like walkie-talkies.
I look for something that it something simple and colorful, like bright colors. If it's probably black and white at the moment, but if I can sort of deduce based on the shade, perhaps it might be colorful or really pop once.
Of course, there's definitely a cloak hanging on a rack that, given the faint colors that are, coming through, you can tell that there's pink, purple, orange, green, blue, etc.
I just sort of bundle that cloak up and sort of drift my way through the aisles towards the subject. This is so enchanting. Did you make it yourself?
He turns to like call his father over, but his father's busy with someone else. No, I think my father found that when he was out adventuring. Um, if I have that right, that is a. He opens a book and starts flipping through. It's a cloak of. He keeps looking back at his father as if.
Perhaps a cloak of scintillating colors.
Yeah, yeah. You seem to know what you're talking about.
I have seen similar things before. They are quite enchanting. But do you have no connection to magic yourself? I have seen apprentices work with wizards in the past.
Well, I'm here to help my father. He owns the shop. Me and my brother, we help run it. Though I can do some magic. Would you like to see?
Sure, display your talents for me.
Of course. Aldex. He motions to his pseudo dragon that perks up and is like, "Oh, are we doing the thing?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he casts, and the light that you saw in that first memory, only this time there's like 6 lights that are dancing around as the pseudo dragon starts hopping through and dancing with the lights, putting on a little show for you. And after a moment of this, you hear bark, "Dillian, what are you doing? Don't disturb the patrons." He walks over. "Excuse me," looking you up and down, Joyous.
Joyous occasion.
Joyous. Yes, I apologize for my son. He's just likes to put on a show every now and again. But please, how the cloak of enticing colors.
Scintillating, I thought.
Yes.
Sort of just reach an arm over towards the dad and just sort of put it on his shoulder, sort of like trying to put him at ease. But the sort of mismatch of how much pressure I should put in is sort of a little uncomfortable. It's not like I'm trying to hurt him, but it's just like it's just like someone that doesn't really know how to keep themselves from being a little bit too much. It is okay. I simply asked the boy what it was he was capable of. I thought perhaps he made this himself.
No.
Did you make it?
No, I found that in the Dillian tomb. Quite a fun little adventure I'd gone on. My wife does make some of the magic items, more of the simple trinkets. She's a bit of an artificer, but no, that was.
Does the boy have no interest in such a pursuit? Bending these beautiful little illusions into something that would be quite enticing for a patron or customer.
You see at this a look of slight shame quickly. goes over the father's face. He's like, well, yes, Dillian, as you saw, has a knack for magics, but I really need him here at the shop working. It's, we have quite a few.
Why can't he do some magic? He's good at it, clearly.
Well, excuse me. And at this, the father kind of brushes off Joyous your hand, and he's like, this is my shop, and this is my son, and I would appreciate if you don't tell me how to raise him.
I'm just saying, he's just clearly really good at it. He's got something in him. It's impressive.
Well, it may be something, he looks over at Dillian, that we can talk about in the future, maybe, if things level out here. And Dillian's look of excitement. Really, Dad? I think, oh, yeah. And he looks at Joyous and maybe he's like, thank you. Is there anything I can help you with in here? Father, can we... Well, and he sees the look of slight disapproval on his father's face, like, don't push it, kid. And he's like, well, if you ever need anything, you know where to find us.
Wonderful little shop. But I have traveled far and wide. Perhaps having your own wizard in-house would be quite beneficial for business, Father. But I'll take this beautiful robe for now.
And as you take it, a thoughtful look crosses his father's face as Dillian, smiling from ear to ear, and a little more color. The scintillating colors on the robe start to light up just a tad more as you see the memories start to break apart. But before you are returned back to the ethereal world, you see a quick dark flashes as you then rushed into a memory, the five of you standing shoulder to shoulder as you watch young Dillian in what looks like a back room running around with his pseudo dragon pet Aldix, and you watch they're playing chase as Aldix cuts around a corner and Dillian tries to keep up but tumbles over, knocking into a crate, and from it an object falls and shatters. As it's falling, it's almost like slow-mo as the five of you see this very, let's just call it what it is. It's an evil artifact, demonic in nature, dark obsidian. As it crashes against the floor, you see a dark, faint figure rise up. Dillian looks at it for a moment. Who are? And it rushes as he starts convulsing on the floor as darkness flashes into his eyes before. As he gets up and looks around, his pseudo dragon looks at him, a look of concern on his little reptilian face as Dillian goes, what? Oh, Aldex, did I? What? Oh no! As he rushes down to the obsidian pieces, starting to brush them up as the memory fades. And as it fades, you just hear,
I am the abyss.
As you returned to that central ethereal plane.
How
More
old-
light. I'm sorry?
Sorry, how old was Dillian in this scene?
He looked very similar in age to the memory you just ended. So about, again, 7 or 8 before his teens.
DM, seeing this and having heard the name that the professor shared with us, do I have any knowledge of what this being's ultimate goals are?
So he had shared with you, and you all would have had some knowledge of this previously, that this entity, Ayat, the Abyss, is a world eater. He goes to different realms of existence, starts as a small shadow and starts to consume the world. In his eyes, making it good and orderly, but really sucking out all the life that exists till it's nothing but a plane of darkness and shadows.
Well, that was certainly a disturbing one.
But perhaps we are not the only ones who are tampering with the way that Dillian had seen his past. Theory. If the abyss had been introduced to the subject at a very young age, it could have been influencing the way that they were perceiving the world around them throughout their entire life. So perhaps what we are doing is not completely fabricating and altering his memories. Perhaps we are peeling away the filter of Ayat itself.
It's an interesting theory, as if we are acting as the antibodies to some sort of sickness affecting his memories.
Yes, quite exactly so.
Well, I say we continue. It seems that we're bringing somewhat more light into this dark place. Joyous, if you would do us the honor of picking the next memory.
I'll say at this point, you see one of the memories has disappeared, and all that's left is the visage. There's the central one that still has slight darkness in front of it, but there's one that shows the mother and father turning back, looks of concern on their face.
Choice has been made for us. As a sort of step again, serpentine towards it. Let us continue. And just sort of fall face forward into it.
As the five of you enter through, you almost follow Dillian as he comes into the house. Mom, Dad, I'm home. As you see the two of them muttering in the doorway. Well, how are we going to tell him? It's going to, Dillian, the mother says, turning. Son, come here, the father says, motioning. And Dillian goes, what's wrong? Is everything okay? Father sits down. Dillian, son, it's Aldex. Something happened. I don't. What do you mean? Where is he, son? I think the magic that kept Aldex alive expired finally. He's been with us quite some time. No, What do you mean? He couldn't have. No, Dillian, please. It's okay. No! How could this happen? No! As he says this, you see darkness starting to shroud over him. No! I will not let this happen! As both mother and father stand up scared. Dillian, what's going on? You who? No! As his eyes glaze over black. No! He continues to bellow as he rushes out the door.
Can
You
we
just see looks of concern.
chase him?
So as he runs out, the scene changes. It's night. There's a moon in the sky. Stars twinkle. As you follow Dillian up a hill overlooking the city, a lone tree, its branches cascading out. You just hear his sobbing.
Do we see him sitting down somewhere?
He's sitting at the base of this tree, his shoulders shaking as you see a dark figure almost climbing out of his back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit next to him and just try to I'm just keeping an eye on that dark thing. Hey man, are you all right? What's going on? What happened?
Who do I? You seem.
I'm a friend. It's fine. Sorry. I know it's weird. I just keep popping up places, but what's going on?
My best friend.
It's all right. It's cool. It's cool. Just when you're ready. What happened? Tell me what happened. What about your best friend?
Aldex, he's gone. Just like that.
Oh man.
Lydian's gonna walk over towards Maeve and kind of leaning on his walking stick, just kind of look down, and you can see he looks kind of affected by this outpouring of emotion. Son, I'm sorry to hear about this friend of yours. Would it perhaps make you feel a little bit better to, um, well, here, this is my friend Fenwick, and I'll summon Fenwick, and he'll jump off and kind of like scurry over around in front of Dillian.
Oh, hello. You just like Aldex. Such a. And he reaches out and pets him.
Yeah, he just like immediately, like almost like a dog, like turns over so he'll like scratch his belly.
Aldex.
It really sucks when you lose a pet. Really
Say
sucks.
this, you just hear.
Yes.
I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the kid.
And you see, as he's reaching to pet, Dillian just freezes. In the voice.
I don't know who you are or where you're from, but you are not welcome here.
Yeah,
Is mine.
I tend to show up in places I'm not really welcome, but I don't like your tone, so I'm gonna stay.
Push my way into the cellophane, into the memory now, leaving sort of observational space, and just sort of try to come up behind the child. You said this shadowy figure seems to be sort of latched onto his back.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the process of coming up behind the child and Maeve and Gideon, just sort of trying to make sure that they can try to keep his focus, and just sort of whisper some words of encouragement to both of them, as I will expend 2 bardic inspiration to give them one each, give them a d8 if they need to make any checks, as I'll sort of come up to the shadowy figure. Oh, there are many things more dangerous than you. This is not your fight to win. You will not keep him. He'll find his own way. Of that you can be sure. As I'm focusing my sort of personality and sense of self on the figure, trying to keep him distracted and pulled away from Dillian as much as possible.
Its head twists around to look into your dark face and goes,
I see you worship something, though. I am unsure.
A servant of joy itself. A smile on every face, but one that does not wish to harm.
Oh, wait.
We'll lose this.
The void takes all.
as I need you all to make a Constitution saving throw for me,
No.
including including those in observation.
Steph, is this considered a magical effect?
Yes.
Okay, I get advantage on those.
I get advantage on it.
Okay.
Oh no.
That's what happens when you make fun of other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And,
Oh, go ahead.
as our gracious producer just reminded us, you all have boons that you can use at any time if that is something you wish to do.
Do y'all mind if I use one of those rerolls?
Oh, go for it.
Cool.
Good.
Well, nope.
Is it better?
No, it's actually one worse. I rolled a 4, and now I rolled a 3, so 6.
21.
17.
17.
Damn it, I forgot your character's name. Gwydion?
I'm sorry, 18.
Oh, okay. So the 4 of you are unaffected as this dark concussion blasts throughout the scene. Maeve, you are returned to the astral, ethereal area for a moment.
Son of a bitch.
Directly to
As-
jail.
On.
Yes, as the entity sees he's not affected all of you, he goes,
You are stronger than I thought, but his soul is still mine.
as the shadow exits, and Dillian goes back to petting. So at this point, he notices Joyce's presence behind him. Goes,
Kind of
"Oh,
drop the creepy level of my smile just down a tinge.
um, you have I? Where?
Bright colors and magic, if you can recall. My
I
studious little friend.
He leans
As
back, and you see what, even though it's a twilight where it's mostly dark anyways, the sky is starting to gain a little color. And go ahead, Dolly.
I was going to say, as Joyous reminded of the moment in the shop, for consistency reasons in this study, she is going to cast Minor Illusion on Joyous to give him the cloak that he had purchased, because it only makes sense. He bought the cloak, so he should have the cloak.
Of course.
Gwydion will kind of chime in and say, son, just because your friend Aldex is gone, it doesn't mean that he's not with you.
What do you mean?
I too have lost someone close to me. And though I spent many years, like you, sitting under a metaphorical tree, weeping, I've come to realize that each of the fond memories I have of her, as long as I continue to think of them, and as long as I continue to act in a way that would befit and honor her memory, it's as if she still walks with me.
Thank you, sir. I, I appreciate that. Thank. And he looks back to Joyce. Thank you, and as if recalling that Maeve was there at one point. Yes.
As as Gwitty and Dolly now have already interacting with the experiment itself and trying something new for the sake of science, of course. As Gwitty mentions something about remembering the friends and honoring them in a way, she's going to wave her wand towards the base of the tree itself and cast a little druid craft to have a little batch of flowers start to bloom.
What are these? Aldex loved flowers.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. As the memory starts to. And the four of you return with Maeve.
What took y'all so long?
It's a
You-
delicate process, it seems.
We were still in the middle of an experiment, but the good news is that the subject responds very favorably to positive engagement from those around them, even if we are not part of their intimate circle of family or friends. And I will create a theory based on these notes further, as I'm still scribbling them down.
You do that.
Gwydion, you can see, has taken a handkerchief out and he's like dabbing his eyes a little bit. It seems that the transfer between the dreams seems to be having somewhat of an effect on me. Don't worry about it.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Do I believe it?
I think Dolly is going to investigate because this is a very new development in our experiment. Does this now have an effect on our own psyche?
I cannot say that I will be too changed by this. I am weird enough already, as I understand it.
Joyous, I'm interested. I was standing back in there. I did not want to overwhelm the child by all of us approaching at once. But I was watching that shadow, much like you were. I was trying to see a time when perhaps I could cast protection from good and evil, but they seem pretty linked, and I do not know if he would have been willing. Um, this concerns me. This creature having such a intimate connection um, with our quarry. What did you see when you were so close?
Take a moment and see the glowing white eyes within this hood sort of disappear for a moment. Just still that soft smile and the horns coming out of the darkness. And I sort of try to put myself in that moment again. And in my interactions with all things creepy and horrible, what was my overall sort of take from that interaction? Is this like a I'm going to take possession of you kind of thing, or where are we at with that?
It is definitely some kind of entity that is trying to corrupt. That is, you get the feeling that this is something that is going to work its way and whittle down this individual till it has total control over Dillian.
There are many strange and powerful things out in the world. This is something that seeks to replace Dillian, corrupt and change it into something befitting of its purposes. Quite different from what it is I serve.
Well, if I get the opportunity, if we can perhaps uh, change enough about these memories, if we are able to make Dillian willing, I can cast protection from good and evil again on one of these manifestations of him, and that should eliminate the possibility of a possession, um, which is a power which Lathander granted me in order to heal and to help.
That would be a smart choice, I think.
Agreed.
My earlier postulation regarding young Dolly's theories, I would also again caution us that the more powerful our interventions, likely the more potential there is to cause some sort of dangerous break in the young man's mind. So if we are to use such a spell, I would perhaps wait until the later memory when we would expect that we have no other recourse.
So don't break out the lion again.
Perhaps.
Fair.
All right, so you
I think
see
there
there's
is
this
just the one.
last. Yes, as Joyce is saying, there's just the one left. The dark tendrils eased away. It's still a dark reflection that you see. In it, Dillian raising up a letter, excitement on his face. As the five of you walk towards it, entering through the portal. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Yeah.
Nice.
Voice of God here.
Hello, God.
We have broken $400 on our donation, our journey to 1,000, which means that we have unlocked several giveaways that we will do when we get back from break. So we will be returning from break in 10 minutes at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all of you lovely folks in chat during this break, get your Paradice entered into the chat. That is Paradice to enter into the giveaway, and we will do our drawings when we return. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been really, really awesome. Let's see if we can keep pushing that goal further. But for now, we're going to head off to a break, and we'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
Welcome back, everybody, to our one shot in Paradise. Before we jump back into the amazing adventures that we've been having in this very, very cool one shot, I'm going to turn it over to Shannon to do our giveaways.
Yay! Thank you, Voice of God. We have 4 things to give away to you. The first we are going to roll for, and as I'm talking, as I'm telling you the 4 things that we're rolling for, if you have not put Paradice, Paradice, put that in chat so that you can get a chance to win any of these 4 amazing prizes. First, we are going to roll for the Underground Oracle Publishing Quarterly Bundle. Their latest one, the one that just released, so awesome stuff happening in there. Then we are going to roll for the Arcane Spectacles Dice Vault, and then we're going to roll for the an exclusive Jasper's Game Day dice vault. It is a dice vault that was made, and it's got the Jasper's Game Day logo on top of it. It looks really cool. And the last thing that we are going to roll for is this beautiful Die Hard dice set. It is amethyst. They're metal. They're heavy, and they're made of metal too. And they're just so beautiful. So that's 4 things that we are giving away. So, Voice of God, can you count me down for number 1, please?
You got it, Shannon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll it.
Hey, Samuel!
All right.
You got it. You got the quarterly bundle. That's easy. Awesome. All right. Count me down again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll it.
Hey, Hawkmere, you get the Arcane Spectacles Dice Vault. Congratulations, Hawkmere. All right. Oh, I should be writing this down. All right, hold on. Samuel, Plot Hooks, and then Hawkmere. Okay, all right. Go again, God.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Amanda! You get the Jasper's Game Day Dice Vault!
Yay!
Yay! Awesome. All right, one more time, Voice of God.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lion! Lion! Oh, Lion, you get these babies.
Yeah, I love purple too.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, everybody, for entering that code Paradise. If you haven't won, you can keep it in there. You don't need to enter it again because I still have all of you up here. Our next goal is $500. We are $90 away from unlocking a Talon and Claw Dual Hex Hero Dice Vault. So help us spread the donation link. And thank you, everybody, for helping us spread the word. You all are amazing. Back to you, Stefan.
Super duper. Duper super. Ooper. Anyways, thanks for all sticking around with us. Let's jump right back into the action. As our 5 heroes explore the mind of Dillion, the cultist of Ayat, they've brought a little more light into his mind, into the memories that he perceives as the 5 of them break through into the next memory. A repeating scene of Dillion bursting in, a paper in his hand. As you make your way through the portal, the sound accompanying it goes, Everyone, it came! It's here, I got it! It's Dillion. He's now about 16 or 18. Slight stubble on his chin, but it's that early, he should probably just keep it shaved at this point. His hair matted down, dark, a nice doublet on. His family is an artisan class. As he comes in, the piece of paper in one hand, his family around the table, his mother, father, and older brother, as they look up, and the brother goes, Is that it? Dillion, you got in? Yes, I got in. Look, Mom, Dad, see? And he slaps the paper down. You're able to see that it's an acceptance letter for the local academy of wizards and wizardry. It does not have a name. As the parents look to each other, the father seems a little more happy for his son. He, look crosses his face. That's, at first he's like, oh, can we really afford this? It's Dillion, it's, the shop is doing good, but I really need you there. And at this, Guthix stands up, the older brother, and goes, now, Dad, please, and puts his arm around Dillion's shoulder. He worked really hard for this, and I have money saved up, and I can help if need be. I'll pull extra shifts. He deserves this. The mother continues tinkering with her artifacts as she goes, yes, of course, but, it's just, we had agreed that, we might wait a little bit until things are looking a little better. Your sister's out adventuring. And at this, Dillion says under his breath, and I would very much like to be out with her. Yes, well, remember, we need help at the shop. It's easier to have it just within the family, but I guess congratulations are in order. And the father goes, yes, of course. Let's just hope that you do a good job there. Dillion, a little downtrodden throughout the conversation at their lack of just total acceptance, goes, well, oh, okay. Thanks, Mom, Dad. Putting his arm around his brother. Guthix, thanks. As the memory fades away and you find yourself in another ethereal area, this time 7 memories in front of you. One in the middle, larger than the last. 6 dark tendrils linked to each memory. As you see to the far left, a familiar face in the memory. Is that Professor Perfiffle? As you see him reaching a hand out in greeting. Next to that, you see an image of Dillion alone in the library, head in his books, scribbling away. Next to that, you see him on a bench outside, head in hands, just sitting there. The central one that's dark in it shows Dillion storming out of a building on repeat. You just see him coming out and then resets, coming out, resets. Past that is an image of a professor just shaking his head at Dillion. Next, you see an image of Dillion with an Air Genasi woman. His smile fading, just constantly. And finally, last on the right, you see Dillion walking down the street of the same city.
Well, where do we want to start? There's a lot to go through here.
Well, I think it may not be a bad idea to start with the ones where he is clearly in distress, because we have had a lot of positive results by interacting with him when he was in a negative emotion and thus positively influencing the subject directly. So I am officially revoking my do not interact with the subject initiative.
Well, I will say, at the same time, I do see that there is a dark tendril going to each one of these, so it seems that perhaps he's corrupted in all of them, even the ones where he doesn't look like he's in distress. Perhaps these seem more clearly, and Ivan points to the one all the way on the left, much more clearly in chronological order, because here we see him being accepted into the college, greeting with the professor. We see him studying, and it seems like we're going through his time at the college, perhaps.
Yes, and that can be quite an emotional time, too.
It seems a simple enough approach. It's to just go from left to right.
Must admit, I am quite interested in what it is that is making him smile so wide, and that smile fall away. But left to right is good as well. I just hope we do not lose any memories again.
So the 5 of you walk to that far left portal, seeing the face of Professor Perfiffle reaching at his hand. reaching at his hand as you walk through. And the memory starts as Professor Perfiffle reaches out his hand and goes, well, congratulations there, young Dillian. It's quite an honor to meet you. Your acceptance letter, or your application letter, was quite interesting. So, tell me, what do you wish to do here? He says, sitting behind the desk, motioning for Dillian to sit down. Dillian kind of gathers his things and sits down a little awkwardly. Yes, well, you know, I would like to learn. Of course, that's why we come to Academy. Yes, haha. Yes, of course. But I'm sure there must be more. Yeah. Well, you know, with magic, I've seen it used before for minor, kind of some mundane things. My mother is an artificer, and she makes useful trinkets, but I've always wondered what more could be done with them. Gained a little more strength if we could have a little more effect on the world. Yes, well, remember, with more strength comes more. Well, you have to be a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Responsible, maybe? No, that's not it. That's beside the point. What else is it? You wish to become strong and learn and. Well, he says almost abashedly, I've always wanted to just help people. Interesting indeed. And that's why I pushed to have you accepted here. Your grades, I'll admit, were not so good. Did you really fail basic transmutation? Well, I just didn't agree with some of the assignments. You know, they're useful, sure, but what applications do that have in the real world? That's beside the point, my boy. You have to understand, being accepted at this academy is a serious deal. You must take it seriously. Of course I will. I just want to learn. Help. Of course. Well, I look forward to an interesting semester and hopefully a few years with you. Now, on your way, I'm sure you have much to do. Yes, of course. As he gets up and leaves, the memory fades, and then it reopens. It's Dillian walking through campus. It's a little dark, and you hear a voice.
You know, I can help you become stronger to help people.
See Dillian. No, I know. I think I know what you offer.
Yes, and it is quite easy. I know. You seek the easy path.
It's not that. Sometimes it's hard.
Yes, of course it's hard. It'll always be hard, but I can help you. Here, let me offer you something.
You watch as he's walking. Small demon appears. What those of you that are learned would know as a quasit. A little smaller, about half a foot tall, little wings that hovers next to him and goes,
Hello, I am Zouch, here to serve you in whatever needs you need.
yes.
Did we all pass through the self fade at this point?
No,
Are we still looking, or who's the
basically just kind of follow it as he's going.
Okay.
So you have to basically say, I step.
Okay.
Would like to
I
step through.
step.
Who's stepping through, just for my knowledge?
I will. I've been just kind of keeping my eye on for a possible place to try to get to where I can cast protection from good and evil.
Sure.
And so I would like to enter and begin to approach the individual. Approach Dillian.
Right. And Maeve, what are you doing?
Yeah, same thing. I enter. I'm gonna kind of like, when we enter, do we enter like right next to him? Do we? in front of him, behind him? Where do we
At this
enter?
point, you guys are both entering from behind him as he's kind of stopped in the middle of this walkway in the academy as he's like kind of talking to himself.
Okay. So so as I step in, I'll go, "Hey, Dillian."
Hello, and he like kind of like tries to shoo the Quasit down.
Yeah, and I'll walk up to him. That's weird. What's that?
Stuff it into his jacket as a kind of. Hi, hello. Do I?
Hi. I
know
don't
you?
think I've seen you a couple times. I don't think I've ever actually said my name. The name's Maeve. Nice
Oh,
to meet you.
Dillian.
Nice to
Shakes-
meet you. So, this is cool, huh?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I've wanted to go here my whole life, and it's quite. I just met with my advisor, a professor, Perfifel, if you've ever heard of him. Wonderful man. Wonderful man.
That's a weird name. What did you talk to him about?
Oh, just my acceptance here. I'm not the best student, but I think I have where it matters. I really want to learn to help people. He says as you see the little head of the Quasit poke out before he shoves it back in.
The hell is that thing?
It's just some of us wizards like to have familiars, and I guess this was the one I got chosen for me.
Oh, cool.
Gwydion will step out of the cellophane at this point.
Sure. Ivan, what?
I've been kind of standing, walking behind Maeve, and then just kind of stepped over to the side and allowed them to continue their conversation. I would like to use a bonus action to activate my Emissary of Peace using my Channel Divinity. And then step more fully into view. Is it lighted here? I know it was a darker area, but is there like a street lamp equivalent?
Yeah, they're gas lights, or probably like small magical flame lamps.
Okay.
And just knowledge, your channel divinity is what does that do exactly?
Emissary of Peace. It gives me a +5 bonus on all persuasion checks for 10 minutes.
Okay.
I just walk up, and I say, "Young man,
Oh, hello.
I couldn't help it over here. I'm not sure who you were talking to, but I've been around this school for and places like it for a while. I've interacted with many different places like this, and you can see I've been around for a long time. And I heard you mention something about the easy way. What do you see around me? Look at the ground.
Dirt, cobble, some grass back there.
Does any of the light look any different around me?
Do you not have a shadow? He stares at you.
Correct.
You don't have a shadow.
Yes. This is what the easy way gets you. I was corrupted by a dark entity myself. I have no one to blame but myself. And over time, an entity known as a shadow began to manifest itself outside of my own space. Eventually, the shadow built up power just from all the evil that I was doing, and it decided one day to walk away, and I was slain by it. Thankfully, a cleric of Lathander raised me back to life, but there's a lifetime of decisions which I made trying to take the easy way. I must say, all that got me was pain. It may seem better, it may seem like it gets you where you want faster, and it might. But there will be consequences which you might not find enjoyable.
Yes, well, I apologize for your predicament, but I'm fine. I'm fine. It's nothing. I know what I'm doing. I've just been accepted to the academy.
Are you fine? It's all right if you're not. I'm not fine. I'm not fine a lot of the time.
Yeah, I just have to do well. I have to, took a lot to get my parents to let me come here.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfifel, he
Well,
like kind of put his neck out for me. If I let them down, it's
well, from what I know of your parents, they kind of sucked when you told them that you got in here, right?
What? Yeah. How did you know that?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Point
The
is,
space around you.
oh,
Oh no. Okay. As Dolly is now going to take this opportunity to step through, her notebook still in hand, as she continues to vigorously scribble through it and approach the group. She's going to stop and look at Dillian. You're new here. I haven't seen you around on campus before.
Yeah, I just got accepted last week. I just met with Professor Perfifel about my time here. And are you another student? Do you
Yes.
know these people?
Oh yeah, they're kind of like some of the teacher assistants. They walk around and they aid some of the newcomers to the academy. The academy.
Sure. She looking Maeve up and down doesn't strike me as the academic type.
Dolly approaches closer. She's actually here to assist with some of the spellcasting courses and the tests because she is one of the very few to withstand some of their force damage.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
You're new. Are you nervous?
Nervous is one way to put it. I just, at this point, the little Quassa tries to poke its head on you. I just, there's this, like I said, there's a lot riding on this, and I have to get it right.
Mhm.
I have.
No, I understand. That's exactly what happened to me when I first got accepted to Academy the Academy. Well, to be perfectly honest, it kind of felt like I was in this alone. My parents didn't really approve. I'm an astronomy major, you see, and they don't really think that's practical.
Yes, same with mine. They just think, what does an illusionist really bring to the world? But I've seen people smile from it.
But what I had found helped in my first year was finding a professor that can make you feel like it's not overwhelming.
Yeah, that's I think Professor Perfifel might be
Yeah,
my.
What
hear
it
he's.
seems. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say he is very helpful. He's helped plenty of students, and that is somebody that you want to stick on to because he can observe things about you that are good and positive that maybe it's hard for you to see in yourself. When you get stuck in studying and get stressed out and all of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I echo that completely. As I said, the easy way often leads to negative outcomes, but there's a reason they call it the easy way, is because the other way is a lot harder. But if you surround yourself with the right people who can encourage you and can support you and uplift you in the difficult moments, then it's okay to have hard times. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to even fail. You don't have to get it right the first time.
It's okay not to be fine, like I said.
Yes.
And by finding some of the people who can relate to the experience, you find friends and you can talk to them about them. So speaking of which, hi, I'm Dolly. I'm a second year here at the Academy. Dolly extends her
Time.
hand to shake
Dillian
his.
reaches out hesitantly at first, but then you feel his firm handshake as he's like, Dillian, thank you. All. Truly. As the memory brightens for what it can. The color kind of brings out his face, and the rest of you see yourselves coming more into color as the memory fades, and you come back to the mind palace, if you will. I decided to call it. As more light has appeared, the surface, if it could be called that you're walking on, almost has a rainbow-esque look to it. And you'll actually see right next to the first memory where you'd first seen Dillian studying alone, color illuminates it. As he's studying with a few other people, a memory fixed just by this one interaction. Further
Influence spreads.
to the right, where he had been being admonished by Professor, you now see Perfiffle there, assisting Dillian as light shines in there.
Should we continue the... Oh, sorry.
3 tendrils. No, I paused for a little long. The 3 tendrils have withdrawn.
Subject had oh god, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit frantic. Scientists are usually not supposed to directly interact with their subjects, and I had broken a very, very strict code of conduct.
Hey, but look at all the good. Look at all the good you did.
Ellie, consider this much like a focus group. It does require asking some questions of the subject.
Yeah, it's fine. It worked out okay.
We have seen... You think about it? We have seen what purely observing the past will result in. We were there but moments ago. We know what fate awaits. Observation alone. It is our intervention that can change. There is always another way. As I move closer towards the Air Genasi scene.
Relating to subject on matters similar to our own experience creates a connection of empathy and can positively influence the way they perceive future and past events.
As Dolly jots that down, you follow. I presume. I don't want to presume, actually. Do you all follow Joyous?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As he walks into the scene of you just seeing Dillian's smile fade. But when you enter, it's simply him looking into the eyes of this Air Genasi. They're in some romantic setting. You paint the picture. As he is holding onto her hand and goes, I love you. A sad smile on her face as she says, oh, sweet Dillian, I told you I cannot be here forever. I must return and do my mission for my people. But I will always cherish our time together. This is where you see the smile. No, I need you here. I need you in my life. Sweet Dillian, I'll always be with you. No. No. Why would you do this to me? He says, exiting the scene. You're transported to that similar hill overlooking the city. Sunset as he sobs. Out of his jacket, the little Quastet climbs out, sits on his shoulder.
I know you really liked her, Dillian, but it's okay. I'm still here for you. I can help.
Zelch, shut up. You can't help me. I know what you want. No, I know you don't trust him, but I just want to help you. I'm supposed to be your friend. Just go. Just go. And he dismisses his familiar.
Step into the scene, coming up from behind near that tree where the flowers grew, assuming it's the same hill.
Oh, yeah, and you'll see that there is now a small patch of flowers that seems slightly tended.
Coming up from over the hill. It seems when you face loss, you find yourself returning here often.
How do you... That smile.
Oh God, oh God. Minor illusion. The colorful cloak.
It's okay for me to be yellow. Things are changing.
Yes, well, I don't know what it is. The city, seeing it all. This is all I know. This is my home. Something about being able to look over the whole thing just reminds me of where I'm from.
It is always good to remember there are many things that will happen here that will stick with you for some time. But do not lose sight, Dillian, of the future. It is whatever it is you wish to make it. You are studying the School of Illusion Magic, are you not? Your talents for it were so mesmerizing so many years ago.
In the shop. That's right. Yes.
Well, you must remember its principles as you find yourself without a steady hand towards the future. You can shape magic into anything your mind can imagine. Do not limit yourself to the past. Do not bind yourself to the present suffering you may feel. Imagine a brighter future and work to create it, Dillian. It will be hard. It will be like laying bricks all by yourself, mortar made out of your imagination, but you can do it. This I know. I have seen you lay each brick. You never imagined yourself going to the academy. You are bound by the words of your parents, a future you did not see any light in. But now you have strived and worked forwards. You have succeeded where success was a flitting dream. You will lose things, companions, lovers, friends, but the future holds many more just the same, Dillian. Find your own sense of purpose. Help those who need helping. Strive forward, my friend.
And suddenly you see the shadow clawing over him.
There you are.
Need to leave now.
The white eyes within the darkness of my hood shifting in a stark color to a bright yellow. I would like to see you make me try.
Then so it shall be. And one of the arms thrusts out towards you. What's your AC?
A measly 16.
You feel the shadowy hand connect with you, pushing you into the tree. As it pins you there, the creature starts to crawl off up towards you.
Can we all see this?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm in. I step through.
All right.
Yep.
Is everyone else stepping through?
Yeah, Dolly's going
Sure.
after me.
Yeah.
As the four of you join in, the entity looks at you and he's like,
No, I will end this here.
and darkness.
Well, fuck.
And you find yourselves back in the room, the mind palace, if you will.
God, I thought we had him that time.
He
You hear
Memories that
faintly
cannot withstand us all.
whispering around you.
You will not succeed.
As you
I don't like
see the ground start to crumble in areas around you. Not beneath you, not totally taking away the surface you have to walk.
Gwydion will walk over to Joyous. Friend, are you hurt in any way? And I'll start to like inspect where the hand grasped him.
There doesn't seem to be any kind of impact. No bent. Well, if he has metal on or armor, there's nothing physical that has happened to his garb.
You can see my hand kind of come out from underneath my cloak, and what looks like a hand quickly morphs into a set of 3 tentacles. I sort of feel the spot of my chest, and you can see the tentacles go back inside of the robe. I seem to be all right.
I'll write that down.
What was that, Nick?
Gwydion was turning to Dolly at that and saying, "Did you write that down?"
Mhm. Absolutely. Question mark may be possessed by entity as well.
Can
So
I
how
cast,
many? Oh, go ahead, Ivan.
Can I cast detect evil and good just in this space?
You can, if you'd like.
Yeah, I begin to say some things underneath my breath, grasp my holy symbol, which is embedded into my armor, and a little bit of pulse of faint yellowish light just kind of goes out in the was it 60 foot 30 foot 30 foot away from me, and to detect good and evil.
Well, I'll say from my perspective as the DM, you see little lights of good in all your allies.
Oh.
In a darkness past the door. It's outside your 30-foot range, but you can still feel it. You feel the edges as there's this core of evil, of, we'll call it aberrant energy.
Okay.
That lurks within this mind.
It seems to be mostly sourced that way. It doesn't seem to be immediately around us, though.
Should we
Looking
go take
around,
care of it? Or
I will say you do see that all the memories around you have now disappeared, and it is just the one in front.
well,
Tendrils, kind of little ones now at the base of it.
Theory, we have weakened the entity, and it is now very scared, like a cornered wolf.
That is
Scared
when
or
evil is its
pissed?
most dangerous, isn't it?
yeah,
That
we
is
could have pissed it off.
That is a very good distinction, Maeve. I am just going to write unknown negative reaction.
Pissed off.
Negative stimulus.
I'm sure you recall.
That's what going to academy will teach you.
I'm sure you will recall that fight, Maeve. Your opponent overwashed with anger, and that resulted in him making many mistakes, did it not?
Yeah.
Well, then we must see what mistakes our little shadow will make. Serpentine forward towards the portal.
I mimic him because that's real fucking cool.
And I just, as always, fall in.
Scientist note, no longer certain exactly what joyous occasion is. Still tiefling? Question mark?
Tiefling.
Follows through.
As the 5 of you enter the portal, you're brought to the academy outside one of the main buildings as you see Dillian storming out, fuming. I can't believe it! I can't believe those idiots! He throws his paper down. He looks a little older. His beard stubbled out more. Professor Perfiffle follows him out at a slow gait, bending down to pick up the papers. How can they not see the genius of this? It could allow us to go into the memories of others to see just what actually happened. Think of the applications for justice, for kingdoms, for anyone. This could solve so many issues. I can't. Ugh! He says, fuming, as Professor continues to calmly pick up the papers and goes, well, now, Dillian, let's not be too hasty. They didn't flat outright reject it. They just said you needed to come back with a little more concrete experimentation. No, I understand, but that would take years, decades even. I know this is solid. I know if we just put the effort into it, we could make this happen within months. That is not the way we do things at Academy of the Academy. We take time with these things. You have to understand that. Let's go back and look at it. No, I'm sorry, Professor. I can't accept this. Now, boy, I understand what you're going through is hard. But you must know what? Know that they don't know shit? That they think they're better than me? I don't think anyone said that. But they basically did. They basically said it with the way they rejected me. I swear, did you see her? She laughed at me. Laughed. I don't know if I would say laughter is the word, but I understand your frustration. No, I'm sorry, Professor. I'm done. I've had enough. Well, if you insist, you'll always know where to find me. As you see darkness cloaking Dillian as he walks off, you're brought back to the same hill. Dillian's standing there, hand against the tree, looking down over the city. I thought I knew this place. I thought I could help.
Yes, but they do not want it, do they? The help you offer is not the help they need. No. I can offer that to you and to them.
Step through.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going through at that point.
Jolly
Yep.
stepping through with Maeve.
Who isn't stepping through?
Gwydion will step through.
Also stepping through, and I'm going after the shadow.
Ivan, are you also going through?
Yep.
All right, so the five of you enter, and immediately you see the scene almost freeze. And the shadow, without looking back, goes,
I thought you would come here, drawn to this memory. Do you think you can stop it? Do you think you can stop me?
Fuck yeah.
I don't need to stop you. I just need to give him confidence in himself to stop you.
That too.
Well, you can certainly try.
as the scene resumes. This time the shadow is not in sight. And Dylan's just standing there. You're right. They need to. Yes.
Jillian, who are you talking to?
Oh,
Hi. Sorry. I got it. Sorry, I should announce myself before I talk to you. My bad.
Dillian, I heard you had presented your thesis today. How did that go?
Dolly. Well, they said no. All that work, all that time, and they rejected it flat out.
I'm sorry.
I'm not cut out for this. I don't know why I came here.
Well, hold on. What exactly did they say? Did they just say no and kicked you out, or what were their exact words?
This is my entire life's work. Albeit it's a short one so far, but he says, looking towards Gwydion. But it's all I have.
Lillian,
Well,
you said this is all you have.
My life's work
Have you
laid
no
out.
have you no family? No
Well,
friends?
well, no, I do, but this is
Then what, are they nothing to you?
no, I didn't say that. I just
Kind of what it sounded like.
You know, Gwydion, I don't know if you've ever studied the ancient wizards.
You're Gwydion.
Excuse me. I'm just getting up there in age. You know how it is. Dillian.
Yep.
the professor
Um,
does the same thing.
do you know what they said to Mordenkainen when he said that he could summon an entire interdimensional mansion from nothing?
No, I just
They didn't say much. They laughed at him. They did the same to Bigby, who claimed that with just a wave of his hand he could summon an arcane fist strong enough to knock a hill giant over. Do you think that they all left and gave up and said that nothing else was worth succeeding? Worth even attempting? Do you think that Bigby didn't have a wife? A son? A friend?
I don't know. I just assumed that they were just so great. It just came natural for them.
You know that Bigby was one of the most skilled wood carvers of his time?
A woodcarver.
Yes. His entire life wasn't wrapped up in his spells, his magic. He had a passion. But no one talks about that. They only focus on the powers that he had, but he was much more than that. And I would venture a guess that there's much more to you, Dillian.
and I would also like to add, actually, I think I should show you something. I understand putting a lot of time into a thesis, like what you've done. I empathize because I've been there. As Dolly is opening this little satchel that she has, she pulls out a small notebook of yellowed pages, and it's very old. This was my thesis to the heads of the academy, and they also rejected it outright. And I felt very similarly to how you did. I spent a lot of time on this, a lot of time, a lot of time. And even though they said no, and that made me feel really bad, when you feel passionately about something that you're working towards, you can still take the next day to work on it further. Sometimes getting some rest or taking a break from it can help you see it in a different perspective, like how it is the stars are not in the same position every night. Every now and again, they align a little differently. And from this little journal, I ended up creating, she pulls out two more revisions of these thesis, and then I had to have a focus group, and then I had to revise it even further, and then I have, well, it's not done yet. In fact, I'm still working on it, and I hope to finish it by the time I retire it and publish it for the academy of the academy. But this is more work that I've been able to put into it, even though the academy told me no. They said the magic that I was doing of studying the stars and their natural connection to magic, it wasn't very wizardy. But this is what I have now.
So, like I said, what did they actually say?
Well, that I needed to do more work. That I needed to do more experimentation and follow the processes. But I know what I have. It's viable. It's I could use it.
Sure, yeah, but did you hear what you just said? That's not flat out rejecting. That sounds like they believe in it. That sounds like they want you to go and test it, and they want you to go and, I don't know, find some people to yeah, look at all those fucking journals she's got. She's still working on it.
But this was supposed to be it. I was supposed to be done.
Dude, how old are you?
26.
Jesus Christ, I don't know. God,
Philothander, I think,
yeah.
is a more proper.
Oh my goodness, you know what? You have the rest of your life, dude. You're 26.
Doesn't
You have so much
seem-
time.
I mean, yeah, I
Julian.
guess.
What is it that you hope to do with this magic?
I just want people to see people for who they are, to be able to see the truth, to be able to understand.
Would you rather this method of yours be perfected so that you can do good, so that you can make a difference in these people's lives? Why rush into it and risk causing harm or irreparable damage? Why not work with the professor and your fellow classmates? Find a way to make it work. You're young. By the time I was 26, I couldn't cast a cantrip.
Oh,
And actually, for me, Dillian, I didn't even get accepted into Academy of the Academy until I was 26. Like my grades weren't that great.
oh. Well,
Hmm.
no, you're all right, and I guess I just. He looks back over the city, reflecting for a moment.
You can feel upset about it right now because, I mean, it just happened. You're allowed to be upset about it. That's not what we're saying. Just after you're done being upset about it, pick yourself up again. Get back into it. Challenge her to the amount of journals she's got. I bet you can do more.
I'm not quite as scholarly as that, but I see your point. You know, you're right. You're all right. I don't know. Well, I know you, Dolly, but and Maeve, I guess, and yes,
My
Thank you.
friend.
Joyous.
It's been a bit of time, hasn't it? Sorry. You are going to face these obstacles over and over again, like Dolly has shown you. You will face failure and setbacks. You will face, well, many challenges. But you can rise to meet them. You can call on the aid of others to help you overcome them. Together, each of you will achieve more than you could possibly do on your own. But you do not need the aid of that which promises power and promises an ease of power. These things will corrupt your noble efforts. It does not wish to help people like you do. It promises so much. It offers so much. Do not find yourself giving in to its temptation. Your fellow students may see the merits of your journey and join you in it. Accept their aid. Accept their experiences and perspective, for they will see the stars, as Dolly has pointed out, from different angles than you could. From behind this tree, I cannot see any of you, but I can see so much on the other side of this hill. Find those who can aid you. Truly see the merits of what it is you wish to accomplish. Do not give in to temptation, to the easy path. Everything that is worth doing is going to be difficult, but you can do it. That is why we are here, because we believe in you.
Yes.
Your parents have backed you, though begrudgingly, because they believe in you. Your siblings, your professors, your friends, they all believe in you.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. You will see this done.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all. You're right. I was just so hard, but you're all right. And the scene freezes as you had seen color flowing out from him. Suddenly, it fades to the black and white again. The shadow creeps out from over him and goes,
Do you think this is how it really happened? No. Dillian left. He fled from his failures. And it still happened. All your meddling cannot change what actually happened. You will inevitably fail too.
as the memory wisps away. You're now following Dillian, black and white, as he wanders through the countryside. You see him. It's a strange, glitchy, as you see flashes of light and flashes of dark, as you see things that, how he perceived it through Ayat, and how the light that you've given him, he sees things. You see a bandit foraging, and all you see is Dillian raising a knife before it cuts. He's looking at a village from the outside, cuddled, or with a blanket wrapped around him, shivering as he looks in. You just hear,
They will not accept you. They know what you've done.
before you see him wandering through the wilderness to a mountain. He enters into a cave. Through the system he wanders before coming into an area, a large precipice over a abyss. Cultists dressed in robes, kneeling, chanting. As you see him walking forward, the voice speaking out,
Yes, Dillian. Give in. Come and accept the abyss.
as
Can
you
we
step
step in?
out. Yep. And as you step in, your foot breaks through and you see the light spread out from you. And I assume the other 5 of you are going to step out.
Oh yeah, baby.
And as you step out, your footprints bring color into the room as the cultist robes light up in red. You see flames burning, casting shadows hither and thither. A deep purple light emanates from beyond the cliff as Dillian walks up to the edge of it, looking down. Yes. I must give in.
Dillian.
He looks over at the 2 of you. Well, the 5 of you. You? How? Wait. No! A glitch. It goes to black and white as you see him standing there smiling, leaning forward. Goes back to the color as he looks back, concern, confusion on his face. What's happening? What's going on?
You tell us what's happening, man.
Is everything okay?
I must give in. This is what has to happen.
No.
No, I don't want to.
Give in, Dillian.
No, I.
Give in.
You don't have to. You
As
don't have to.
In half black and white, in half color, the cultists start to rise up, and the cloaks fall back. And DM, if we can get some intense battle music as they shape into small, skittering creatures and start clawing at you out of the precipice. 2 hands of a black shadow as the large creature as I raises above Dillian and goes,
His soul is mine.
as we're gonna roll some initiative.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We got this, guys. We can do it. Oh, that was so good. I got a 29. Natural 20.
Nice.
Plus 9.
Nice.
Oh, we're
Okay.
up $610, by the way. Holy crap.
Nice.
Woo. And we got 2 auto successes for the group, which brings us up to, we have so much stuff in our community pool here, so remember to use them.
Yes, dice rolls have not been that big of a thing. Probably should have thought of it before.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's okay.
You
All
are
right. Well, if anyone wants to use them for for initiative, now's
Hey,
the
don't
time to do
forget
that.
Gideon? Gwydion.
Gwydion.
Gwydion and Maeve, you guys both still have some bardic inspiration for me.
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Spicy D8 you can add to a thing.
All right, so I guess above 20. We know Maeve's got a 29.
I have a 20.
All right, 15 to 19.
19.
Gideon got a 15.
All right. And Dolly, what'd you got?
7.
Fenwick got a 13.
Ah, Fenwick, of course, right.
Oh, Fenwick.
All right, so our initiative orders: Maeve, Joyous, Ivan, Gwydion, Evil is just what I wrote. Fenwick and Dolly. All right, so Maeve, you're up first. You watch as these cultists change to some kind of bestial creatures of darkness as they start to claw their way towards you across the ground.
Okay, how far away are they?
20 feet and closing.
Perfect. All right. Before they can get any closer, I am going to use my Fist of Unbroken Air feature, and I am going to create a blast of compressed air that strikes like a mighty fist.
Oh my god, that's literally perfect.
Yep. So as they're coming forward, I'm gonna be like, nope, and just they have to make a strength saving throw, strength 13. And on a failed save, they're going to take lots of damage.
You watch as you target a group of 4 of them as they're coming forward. One leaps over the burst, but 3 more are taken into the concussion of.
All right. So that one that succeeded is still going to take half damage.
Sure.
And the other 3 are going to take full damage, and they are going to be knocked prone. So I'm going to use, so I have to use 2 key points. I'm going to do 4 key points, and I'm going to roll 60-10.
Okay.
And then I think I have an additional damage die, which I'm going to use. No, I have a d6 to any roll, so I will use that.
Okay.
All right, so let me get my d10s in here. All right, we got, 21. Oh my goodness. 21, 17. Oh, Jesus. 21 plus 22 is 43 plus 1, 44. 44 points of bludgeoning damage to the ones that failed, and 22 to the one that succeeded.
So the 3 that failed are just obliterated. You watch as the cone of power basically just blows them away. The one that had started leaping over gets tossed off into the distance and just, you assume, is dead. And ones past that are still caught in the concussiveness of it, as the ones not even targeted by this feat are knocked prone and tumble backwards. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Joyce, you're up.
So, looking at Dillian, does it seem like Dillian is one separate entity and is it Arsiek? Ayat, sorry. Is another separate entity, or does it seem like they're still sort of attached?
No, Dillian is at the edge of this precipice, frozen almost, light and dark kind of shifting around him, with the creature looming over him, a monstrous entity.
All right, how far away is the monstrous entity?
It's about 80 feet, looming over him.
Right. And how many of these strange sort of cultists, like transformed into monstrous shadow creatures, how many of those do you think are left, give or take?
There's a decent chunk of them. I'd say like upwards of 20.
Okay, that's more than enough to work with. You have tried to influence his mind, corrupt his soul, claim it for your own. But we are here to bring joy. And joy will be brought to all in the room. Know that you are all on your own, you corrupting fool. As I will try to bend and twist this entity's mind and make it feel like, unlike Dillian, it is the one that is all alone. It is the one that has no hope. It is the one that will fail. As I will use a bonus action to cut into his save with where is it? Unsettling words.
Sure.
And then if anyone's cool with it, I'll take the d6 to any roll from the community pool to add to that. So he is going to, let's see, dice roller, d6, d8. He's going to have -6 to his saving throw, as I will cast Enemies Abound on him.
And
reaching into his mind, forcing him to make an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence. -6, you said?
-6, DC 17.
All right, he got a 12.
Awesome. As he just loses the ability to distinguish friend from foe, seeing all of the creatures around him as enemies, realizing he is completely alone.
No, this is my mind to control. Out! Out!
Anything else?
Just a wicked grin across my shadowy face, as that is it for me.
Dolly, you're up.
Dolly is I'm going to use the starry form from the new Circle of Stars as Dolly opens up her star map tome of sorts and starts tapping into it. A constellation of what looks to be interconnected, almost like a figure, as these stars start to wrap around her and she begins to take on this ethereal look of an archer of sorts, already pointing an arrow at this dark entity with a glowing tip. And I can use my wild shape to do this, to go into my starry form.
Sure.
And when I go into my starry form, I can make an attack roll to try to hit it for 1d8 plus my wisdom radiant damage.
All right.
Yes, so I'm going to launch an arrow at him.
Fantastic.
And I rolled a 14.
That's not as fantastic.
Rip, hang on. I got.
Oh, I am hanging on to the edge of my seat.
Can I use a reroll?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. And I rerolled for a 24.
Hey.
That's definitely going to hit. As it flies through and pierces into the entity's shoulder. And go ahead and roll some damage. As it appears, I accidentally missed Ivan. My bad.
Oh no, I rolled 13 for damage. That's my roll plus my wisdom.
Right, and it's radiant damage?
Radiant damage.
All right, as you watch the creature recoil as it's looking about, clearly not scared, but bemused by, not bemused. It's like, what's going on? And then your arrow of light pierces through its shoulders. It,
interloping fools.
Yes.
It does get another saving throw since it took damage.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Tries to see that its cult is still on its side.
Nah, it natural 2 for a. Ivan, you're up. Unless anything else, Dolly.
I'm going to tell Dillian that I know you've heard this thing talk to you throughout a really, really long time in your life, but you should think about how you feel after you talk to them and how you feel after you talk to us and your friends and those who care about you, and remember that there are people who care about you as well. Cling on to those who make you smile, not the ones who make you frown. That's going to be my turn.
Of course, and I realized I was looking at the wrong initiative order. My bad. So, Ivan, you're up.
No worries.
So you said the main creature is about 80 feet away.
Correct.
So I will close that gap with my 30 feet of movement as much as I can to get to a cultist who is, about 30 feet away. So I'm 30 feet closer, but able to, start attacking a cultist.
Sure.
As I'm running, I pull my halberd out of its leather straps out of the back, and grit my teeth as I rush in for an attack. That is a 14.
That's gonna hit.
Okay. Let's see. Character sheet stuff. Don't go away. Okay. I will pump a first level divine smite into him. For a total of 13 points of damage, 13 points of slashing damage as I come down on him with my first attack.
Sure. And you just obliterate him, and then you divinely smote him. Correct.
Yes.
With that strike and the divine power of Lathander in you, it concusses out, knocking back the other cultist creatures, doing some AoE effects, because why not?
Sweet. Is there any others within my 10-foot reach radius with my halberd?
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely.
All right. I will make my second attack.
Fantastic.
That is a 18 to hit.
Okay, you hit him.
And I will do another divine smite, and this is even better. This is 17 points of damage.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys watch as Ivan rushes forward, taking out his halberd, striking one. And it's just like, I'm gonna pull Sean here at the beginning of Lord of the Rings when Sauron strikes with his mace. It's just that as a group of these creatures gets knocked back, and then swings it around again and strikes another group, and they get knocked back as Ivan starts to tear his way through them.
And as a bonus action, as a pole arm master, I take the momentum of my thing and swing it around and hit another cultist with the butt of my halberd for a 25 to hit.
Yeah. Would you like to just describe the mayhem you're gonna inflict with this one butt?
Sure. Rushing forward, gritting my teeth, just keeping my eye on the main shadow, frustrated that I can't get to the thing I really want to get to. And I rush as fast as I can with my white hair just kind of flowing back behind me, and begin swinging my halberd and just cleaving these enemies apart, and then take the sharpened end of my halberd and jut it right through the central neck portion of the last cultist, and just stand there, just glaring at the entity in the distance, hoping to clear that range soon.
Of course. And if that ends your turn,
Yep.
Gwydion, you're up.
Can we see? I know you described the creature. Can we still see Dillian?
Yes, yeah. Dylan is below, but in front, so the creature's looming over him. But he's still there, glitching almost of these memories of joy and sorrow, depression and happiness fight for him.
I once had a shadow over my shoulders similar to yours, though mine went by a different name. And that shadow was grief and depression. And I'm going to help you get rid of your shadow the same way someone helped me get rid of mine. And he's going to take a book from his satchel and begin reading these words of power, very similar to the ones he did earlier on, as he summons forth a much more powerful guiding bolt. And he, as the spell casting comes to its climax, he slams the book shut, and the force of it fires a bolt of silver light at this creature.
All right, go ahead and roll some attacking for me.
I am going to go ahead and use my auto crit that someone was kind enough to award me, and I am casting this guiding bolt at the highest possible level.
Of course, why not?
Which for me is 4th level.
Sure.
Which means I will be doing 14d6.
Ah, 14.
Oh, that's much worse then. If it's not 16d6, why even bother?
And to save our viewers some time, I am going to use the digital roller instead of my my dice at home. So let's see.
Totally understandable. Your DM thanks you for saving us time.
That is a total of 60 radiant damage.
Man.
Well done.
How do you want to kick this guy's ass?
I'd like to imagine as this bolt hits him, there is a sort of like this like almost supernova like effect as all the light explodes out of him in just a cascading light, but then it slows down a little bit, and then all of the light gets pulled back into the center, completely enveloping the darkness of the creature.
No! I will not.
One hand flaps down and starts to drag as it sinks into the abyss.
Let you
The other one,
win.
and finally the hand comes up trying to clasp around Dillian. As you see, he breaks free of his stasis, looking down at the entity. No, I will not let you win. As he walks back, turns to you, you see the cultist creatures around you just flare up into nothingness as his eyes look partially knowingly, but at the same time still unsure of you all. He goes, "You've all helped me so much. Thank you. Thank you." He says the memory starts to fall apart. The light shines as you see these memories that you've gone through replaying in reverse, fully colored, as you just see Dillian laughing and smiling. He's at the academy with friends. Someone that looks quite similar to Dolly, helping him study. A professor similar to Gwydion, correcting a paper of his. He's casting some spells on Maeve as she takes it. Ivan is helping him see the light as he stands with him, showing him the beauty of the world. And finally, we're on top of the hill with the tree. Dillian looking up past that as Joyous walks up next to him, that huge grin on his face. As you returned to the altar room, you look around, you see Fenwick. "Did it work? Were you able to help him? Please. It's only been a short time, but look," he says, pointing past the five of you, as Dillian, eyes open, looking down, the darkness still holding him up. His hand opens and the black obsidian gem falls to the floor, and you hear a faint
No.
as it shatters. He falls to the floor, looking at his hands and looking at the five of you and goes, Do I know you?
You will.
Dolly walks up to Dillian and holds out her hand.
Hi, I'm Dolly. I graduated from Academy at the Academy.
Oh, thank you. Have
And
we? Yeah.
I know about your thesis that you presented to the board, and I've actually taken some of notes that I think would contribute to what it is you were studying. A focus group of sorts.
Wait. No. Wait. And he looks past you. Professor, was this? And the professor just smiles knowingly, tapping the manual. I told you, my boy, you just need a little more work. His haggard, ragged face, deep circles under his eyes, dark circles, gaunt, scraggly beard. But the eyes strike you as they're full of light.
Yours, this process. Do you think? Could you help me visit some memories of my own?
I would be honored. Thank you.
You.
As the five of you accompany Dillian walking to the professor, and you all start to walk out. Unseen by all of you, the shattered crystal lets out a wisp of smoke. Oh, Joyous.
Yeah, that's why I was like, no, don't let it fall.
Oh, sorry.
As yes, the sort of strange contest between myself and the crystal, this influence on Dillian, as I would try to use my mental abilities to pick up those various shards and bring them underneath my cloak, with the notion of not allowing this to hurt anyone else, bring down their joy.
As you,
May I? I say to Joyous, and I cast detect good and evil again to see if there's anything residual remaining on any of the shards.
there is a little on the shards, and you do notice there is still a little clinging to Dillian. A faint whisper to just the two of you around the crystal goes,
I will always be waiting. I will always be within him.
That is where you are mistaken, my shadowy friend. There is light within not only my friend in front of me, but myself as well, as I will open up my smile, and within the shadowy void that is my mouth, you can see just a pair of what look like stars in my mouth as I will eat all of the crystals. Much better. Trying to feed what it is I serve.
I'll say, Ivan, you do still see residual shadows on Dillian, but they're very weak. And there's no voice that accompanies them anymore.
I look at Joyous and I say, you did well. And what little remains is far overshadowed by the light which fills his heart now. There's always a little bit of darkness, but what matters is having those around you who can remind you of the light. And he has that now.
His battle is far from over. He will still struggle to smile when rain falls, but he will not have this whisperer in the back of his mind.
Yes.
Something compelling him to frown.
Yes.
And so, you all make your way out. A new day upon you all. As the forces of Ayat have all but been banished from your realm. And with that, we have reached the end of this story. And I would like to thank you all for joining us, for our players, our viewers, and our producer. And a reminder that Dillion could be any of us. He could be me. Well, I mean, we are what we write, right? So there's some of me in there, but I have had a very lucky experience to be surrounded by wonderful people, such as players like these. But it is something we all have to look out for. And as you've seen, the themes here are to just help. The world can be a dark and ugly place at times, but it's not just heroes' job, but everyone's job to reach out and help when you see someone in need. As Jasper's Game Day puts it so well, you never roll initiative alone. You're not a critical failure. And I hope that through some of this, you see the daily struggles that people go through that we can all help with. So thank you again.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this One Shot in Paradise charity stream. Before we go and raid the D&D channel, where there is another Jasper's Game Day game happening, I would just like to go through our cast and just everyone say where you're from, where they can find you, who you are, and yeah. So let's start
We have
off.
2 giveaways to do, too.
Oh, I completely forgot. We have stuff to give away.
Happiness and smiles are free. Everything else, though.
And can we also say, I know you thanked a lot of people, Stefan, but can we
Oh
also
my
just all
God,
say thanks to Stefan? That was
No.
great.
Stefan,
No, none of this.
That was beautiful, Stefan.
Yes.
All right.
So beautiful.
Our praise.
Absolutely beautiful.
You did a great
Thank
job,
you.
Stefan. But Shannon, let's not keep our audience waiting. Let's get those giveaways away.
All right. So, friends, while I'm telling you what we're going to give away, if you have not entered Paradice in the chat, do that right now. Paradice. And we are giving away the Talon and Claw Dual Hex Hero Dice Vault, as well as, it's the right one. Nope, not that one. This one. Another set of Die Hard dice, this time in Aquamarine, which is my birthstone. It's a happy coincidence. Yes, so those are the 2 things that we are giving away, and I will roll them as soon as God counts me down.
All right. So remember, get those Paradice entered into the chat. No exclamation points, no extra spaces or anything, just Paradice, D-I-C-E, for the pun of it. All right, let's do the first giveaway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good vibes, Galvin.
Good
Who's
vibes,
that?
Galvin. You get
It's my sister. Congrats.
Yay! Great job. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Yay! You get the Dual Hex Hero Dice Vault from Talon and Claw. Awesome.
excellent.
Okay, count me down one more time.
All right, this is your last chance to get your Paradice entry into the chat to win our last giveaway. Thank you again, everyone, for helping us raise $610 for Jasper's Game Day. Excellent. Exceeding our last charity stream. We hope to only continue to go upwards. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll it.
Smug.
Right, smug
All
looking
right,
barrel.
Smug.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one last thank you, and then I will turn it over to our players to let folks know where they can find them. So let's start off with our very, very own furball here, Gwydion. No, he might.
Oh, sorry about that. You said my name.
You really are old.
Yeah. We're just So my name is Nick, and you can find me on Twitter at NickPlaysDND. I also would be remiss if I did not mention Know Your Role, the actual play D&D podcast that I am a part of. We are currently on hiatus, but we have 30 episodes available for folks to listen to. You can find those at know_your_role, and that's roll with 2 L's. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of this, guys. This has been really awesome.
Thank you very much, Nick. Jelly, tell us a little bit about where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Mel. You can find me on Jelly Melly Draws on Twitter and Instagram. I make character art, but I'm also a player on Lionhead.
And that is an excellent segue into Lion.
Hey everyone, I'm Jordan from Lionhead Gaming. I run and operate that wonderful little Twitch channel and podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Lionhead_gaming. And we play D&D twice a week now on Thursdays and Sundays. We are on a bit of a hiatus ourselves for our Sunday game with, coincidentally, 30 episodes that you can check out for our Greek Mythos game on anywhere that you can find podcasts or on our YouTube, all that wonderful stuff. And I want to thank you all so much for having us here. It's been an absolute blast. A joyous occasion.
And last but not least, we have Samuel.
Yes. Hi, my name is Samuel. I run Plot Hooks, the creation network, which hosts 2 different podcasts. You can find us at Plot Hooks on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also just recently branched out into written supplements. We'd already been doing some stuff on our Patreon, but now we have stuff on the DMs Guild. Our debut DMs Guild thing went up Wednesday, so you can find the Oath of Destiny, the Paladin subclass Oath, up on DMs Guild now.
All right, and real quickly, we have another roll for giveaways because someone would like to re-roll the giveaway. Shannon, take it away.
Yes. So Hawkmere was so gracious enough to give us a reroll, as he's already won a giveaway from us before. So he would like me to re-roll for the Arcane Spectacles Dice Vault. So I'm going to do that right as soon as God.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh Jesus! Okay. Oh my God! No, not
Reroll,
me.
Shannon.
No,
you don't get to
re-rolling.
win.
I don't want to. Staccato. I don't want.
All
I
right.
did want to.
All right.
Staccato.
Oh, nice.
Jim as a manager, one employee of the month.
Yes. that's the first thing I thought of too.
Yes, no, I didn't. I forgot to make myself ineligible. But Sagano, you get the Arcane Spectacles.
All right. Sagano has one.
Is it showing up in there?
It didn't show up in there.
No.
All
But...
right. Well, I'm looking at it right now. It says Sagano. I'll take a picture of it.
All right.
Sounds a little rigged to me.
No, I'm gonna take a picture of it right now. Right
Yeah,
there.
Okay, we believe you.
All right, folks. Just one last plug for ourselves. We are Paradice RPG. We will be running monthly one-shots in Paradise. Me, Shannon, and Stefan all play in our Monday night game, Advantage in Paradise, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I DM and Shannon and Stefan play the lovely Curon and Scarlet. We also have plenty of other programming, including the Tim and Shannon Power Hour on Sundays, where Shannon and our other crewmate Tim interview folks from the community, talk about D&D theory, and do a whole lot of fun stuff. We have on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Cardboard Contenders with our resident chaotic gnome, Wiswick, or as we know him, Clayton. And of course, on Thursday nights, I run Relaxing in Paradise, where I do crafting, mapping, all sorts of fun stuff, and I play some RPGs and sometimes Overwatch with our very own Gwydion here. And of course, we are trying to get ourselves to 1,000 followers. I saw we got a lot of follows today, so thank you so much. If we get to 1,000 followers, Shannon, our very own Shannon, who's only DM'd for children, will DM for slightly bigger children, the Paradise Boys, in what will likely be a not quite, but definitely Magic School Bus themed one-shot.
100%.
And if we get to 1,000 followers by the end of this year, 11:59 p.m. on New Year's Eve, Eastern Standard Time, we will have that one-shot in, I'm presuming we'll do it in January.
That's really soon.
All right, folks, thank you so much. We are going to now raid the D&D channel to help our other Jasper's Game Day fellows out in their stream. Thank you again. Have a lovely evening. Take care of each other, and remember, you don't have to roll initiative alone.
We love you.
Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Oh, no.
Still here.
Bye.
I don't usually do
Bye,
the
squirrel.
producing. Good night, everybody.
Are we out?